bum.
Copyright.
Oh shit. No, it's like happy birthday. That's like free domain, right?
Maybe. Either way, we're live.
Oh no. Oh nope.
Man, this is all before I had my coffee. Y'all in trouble today.
Man, you're,
Oh man.
sheesh. Be careful.
Go. Soul just waking up. Walter's updated his PS5.
So, yeah, but Soul's still rebooting. You still hear the Windows. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, man. Y'all gotta give me a second, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Your morning
Yeah, man,
coffee.
get your Gatorade up. Get your little fresh glass of freshly squeezed orange juice. Let's get it all in there,
Man, I should have.
man. Go get it right now. It's okay. Go get it right now.
Yeah.
Get your little napkin, too.
Nah, we're good. I just gotta slap myself a little bit, and then we're good. You know?
Whoa.
Yeah. Hey, yo.
You gonna choke yourself a little bit, too, there, buddy? Whoa.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no. What sound is the morning?
What's
Quite
called
right.
that? Self or auto asphyxiation or something?
Sure.
I don't know. Nippon, that's the Japanese name for Japan, right? Yeah.
Hey guys, congratulations on hitting 100 subscribers.
That's right. Hell yeah, buddy.
Congratulations, Walter. Thank you, Walter. Thank you.
You did a great job, Walt.
Thank you all.
Shepherding this podcast all on your own.
Hey, man.
You did a
It
great
hasn't
job.
been easy, but with the help of the Academy, anything's possible.
That's right.
Let me switch. Let me switch to this.
How's
There we
the
go.
audio sound?
About to check right now. Let me
Yeah.
take a look.
Yeah, how do we sound?
Damn, I don't know what happened to your audio, but it just like magically got better.
Yeah, man, I don't know either. It's crazy. Let's see. Let's keep organizing, baby. What's the next category? We got Japan games, or anime games rather, or just Japanese games. Let's do Resident Evil. A whole folder just for Resident Evil. That sounds good, right?
We are good. We are good. Well, you may just need to lower your mic just a tad. Just a tad.
All right. Let me know how that sounds.
Say it again.
Macho. Let me know how that sounds, Macho.
That sounds good.
Sweet.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Okay, brother.
You actually sound level. You actually sound appropriate.
Sound like
Yeah, you actually sound like a normal human being.
like a hunk. I sound like a hunk.
Not like a screechy monkey.
No, there's a monkey in Nove, like a chimp, like an actual chimp. So
Actually, Macho, what do you think? He should turn it up a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little bit.
just a little bit. How's that sound?
Go to again.
How's that? Estamos en el DualShock Sense Podcast.
There you go. There you go.
Oh my god. Okay, so speaking of Spanish, guys, I let I let someone down yesterday, man, at the tax collector's office. My Spanish is so rough, man. This guy who didn't know how to speak English was like, he was looking for something with like his license, and he asked me, like, he asked if I spoke Spanish. I told him a little bit, and he was like, basically like, do they handle like, he was looking to do something with his license there, and then he was wondering if they handle it at that location. And I said, oh yeah, and there's like a little like screen that you have to tap to like, you know, set up like what kiosk you're gonna go to or whatever. And I totally pressed the wrong one, and then after it went back to the home screen, it literally said in red letters like, no driver's license here. I went back to him. I was like, oh shit, like, hey, they don't do licenses here in Spanish, or they don't do licenses here at this location. And he just, like, he didn't understand like why, and he kept like talking to me. I had like I was just lost. I was like,
Damn.
I just kept repeating like, no license here in Spanish.
No licencia aquí.
No ID license.
No licencia. No licencia.
Basically, yeah.
Oh man, that's rough.
I let him
Poor
down. Yeah.
Poor guy.
But we got him situated at the end. But god damn, dude, it was bad.
You were just fully embarrassed of the fact that he didn't know Spanish at that moment.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you.
But yeah, guys. Anyway, let's get started with episode 71 of the DualShock Sense Podcast. I am your host, Soul, the connoisseur of anime waifus, joined as always by my two co-hosts. We have Macho here. How you doing, man?
Doing good, brother. Doing good. Happy 100 subscriber anniversary. That's not really a thing.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
That's not a thing. Oh, my bad.
Stand down.
Happy I get to customize the URL now for our YouTube channel.
Man, you're way too hyped for that. Way too hyped.
Listen, man, I love the customization options, you know. So I'm glad we get to finally indulge in this. We did it, boys. Now the road to 1,000.
Jesus. let's say baby steps. Let's say 200. All right.
Okay. All right. You're right. But I'm doing good, man. Doing good. Excited to be here.
Nice. We also got Walt here. How you doing, man?
Howdy, y'all. How you doing? We're playing games. We're organizing folders, and we're celebrating 100 subs.
Come on, man. Just because we're at 100 subs doesn't mean you get to act a fool. All right, man.
Thank you so much, y'all, for your help, for your patronage, for being here, listening to us. Sometimes talk a lot of shit, but sometimes we bring the good stuff, the good news, the good takes. Sometimes they're good takes. Not many times they're good takes here. I don't know if these two have good takes. I mean, I don't know if that'll ever be a thing, but...
Man, 71 episodes, you still can't figure that out? That sounds like a you problem.
Hey, yo, it's my time to talk. Who told you to talk, huh?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Anyways, yeah. Excited to be here. Excited to talk some games. This is a eventful week. I think it was an eventful week. A game week and movie week. I'm excited, y'all. How about you, Jay? How you doing, Jay? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good.
That's
just multitasking here, but we're good, man. We're good to go. Yeah, man. So we got a lot to talk about this week. Obviously, a lot happened. So yeah, we got a great show planned for you guys. I want to remind everyone to go ahead and like the podcast, share it out, continue subscribing, man. Continue subscribing. I like seeing that little number go up. All right. But
Gets them all. He loves it.
Hey, yo.
hey, yeah, that's my cake. That's my cake, man. That's my cake. But yeah, man, we're gonna get started by talking about what we've been doing this past week, man. So who wants to kick it off?
I want Macho to kick it out because I bet he's played a lot more of Life Alive than I have, so I want to hear about that.
I love how we just like suggest other people to go first instead of us.
Yeah, that's the antisocial in all of us, I think. Yeah, I mean, I'll head out. I'll do it first. Yeah, I mean, this week has been more Live Alive than Final Fantasy 14. Just grinding it out in Final Fantasy 14 with the new like event quest that goes on every time there's a new patch. And the other thing has been what was the other? Oh yeah, I've been watching a lot more Young Justice actually.
Yes,
So
sir.
I've been watching more of that. Getting more into season 3 since I kind of like pit stopped like a while ago, and I'm sorry I just restarted it back up, and it's still kind of like it really is not sentimental, I'll say, but it's like really like nostalgic. It feels like whenever you see like these characters are all grown up and kind of like doing, you know what I mean? Like it's seeing Nightwing like a man, like he's a man's man. He's fully buffed now. It's kind of like, whoa, this dude's like a little kid like 2 seasons ago. What's going on?
And then you watch him in the new Harley Quinn season 3, and he's a total fucking idiot.
Yeah. Which actually, I watched the first 2 episodes of that, and yeah, he's like, I feel like my voice is dark enough. Like, yeah. So I'm watching the Harley Quinn Young Justice this past week as well. I binged all of season 2, like last Saturday or Sunday or something like that. And it's still really good to watch. Walt, you gotta get on Young Justice, man, especially season 2. Like I watched like 16 episodes in one day just because I was just going through the entire second season. It was really good, man. Like even just on a rewatch, I was just like really enjoying it. But yeah, the past week has been mostly have been Live Alive. So I got about like what 20 hours, yeah, a little under 20 hours into this game. On the final scenario, or at least the final character, and then you go on to the final scenario where all of them are kind of joined in. And so far, it's amazing. I feel like it's like really like a sleeper hit of a game for this year, along with like Triangle Strategy for JRPGs. This game definitely has its influences, like for JRPGs are going to come afterwards, like the Chrono Triggers, even Final Fantasy VI. Like there's a big like you could tell Final Fantasy VI was definitely inspired by like a game like Live Alive from back then, SNES or whatever it is. Because this game just is really, really good. The gameplay is really fun and really, what's the word I want to use, flexible when it comes to different scenarios you're doing, because a lot of the characters you're playing has different abilities. So you get to really like strategize around like what abilities they can use and how to really influence the battle grid so that you can win every battle and stuff like that. And it's really interesting how versatile it really is, especially for like 7 or 8 characters. But as far as the stories go, I feel like they're very short to the point, but some of them could around like 2 to 3 hours. So you can really like blast through a lot of these stories like within a day. But I wouldn't even recommend that, because it's one of those games where you want to take each story you want to take its time, because you want to really like revel in like the kind of like story it's trying to tell and the characters and everything like that. And all of them are really interesting and varied. Like the one that I just finished the other day was the distant future, and this one's you're just playing as a robot. And I thought, like, to me, this is one of the last ones I wanted to do. I was like, I don't want to do no futuristic one. That sounds really boring. But the story in this like in this chapter for this character was actually really good. It was actually super heartbreaking. I was like, oh god, this is actually getting to some pretty dark place. It had like a little bit of aliens character in it. It had very melancholy tones along with the entire story. So like it was way better than I was expecting it to be, which is really nice. The one I finished yesterday before bed was the Imperial China story, and this one was, again, very by the numbers kind of story, simple story but complex characters, like we kind of talked about with God of War, where it's just a master kung fu martial artist that wants to pass down his skills to disciples. So he ends up recruiting 3 different people, and then the story falls along. But it gets very heartbreaking very quickly, and it gets really good. It gets very inspiring, hopeful, kind of like a good kung fu action movie. So I'm very surprised by these stories and how well they're told and how, I guess, sort of timeless they are. It's a remake, but it's also like based on an older game, so the inspiration was already there. But I'm very surprised. I think this game is absolutely amazing, and it's a great JRPG to play right before the big meaty boy that is Xenoblade Chronicles 3 that I keep hearing about, which I have not played yet. I don't have it. I'm getting it on Monday. But other than that, yeah, I've been playing Live Alive and Final Fantasy 14, so that's just about it. It's mostly JRPG goodness this past week, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's great to hear that you're getting back into Young Justice, man.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
excited to hear
it's
what
really
you
good.
think about season 4 when you eventually get into it. Cause yeah, like I just started the Zatanna arc, and yeah, her stuff is also like really cool.
Satana. Satana?
Zatanna.
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 Yeah, so I'm excited to see what you think about it.
I'm white.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm really just kind of reveling the fact. Again, I'm trying to wrap my head around the fact these characters are kind of like all grown up. And
Yeah,
it's weird, especially for Artemis.
Yeah.
Just seeing like her being like a woman, like it's still weird to me. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
She's a baddie, man. She's a baddie.
She's a woman, and to see her kind of not in like in a depressed state, but more just like in a really like melancholic state after what happened in season 2.
Yeah, dude.
And living with Will, I'll say.
Yeah, I think it's really smart that they found. It feels like season 4 they really found a balance between like, because I think season 3 the big problem with that season is like the focus on the outsiders, and it's like, sure, like a lot of them is cool. Like I like Violet, I like Tara, obviously Beast Boy and Blue Beetle are cool, and Wonder Girl are cool, but you barely got to see people like Artemis and Nightwing and Superboy and Miss Martian. And I think season 4 there's a nice balance where both of those groups are a little bit like they intermingle a lot more, and there's definitely a lot more focus on like the main group from season one with like the outsiders sprinkled in like with them, like tagging along with them and stuff like that on missions.
Okay,
So,
good.
so I think there's definitely like it definitely feels like it's more of a continuation of season one with those original characters. So yeah, I definitely think that there's a nice balance between that. So yeah, I'm excited for you to get there for sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be a fun ride for sure. Again, this show's amazing, so Walt, get on it. And I think the last thing I'll just mention was Saturday we actually went out for some karaoke and Korean barbecue, which was amazing. It was a ton of fun. We came back. I was on the train and I see the Black Panther Wakanda Forever trailer, and I throw on my earbuds. My girl's listening to her own podcast on her way back home. I just put the volume on blast. I just watch the trailer, and dude, like I'm on the verge of tears. Like this trailer, and I'm trying not to be hyperbolic here. Like truly, genuinely, this trailer is like one of like the greatest trailers for movies I've seen.
That's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, yeah. It's not just there really is like an art form to trailers too, man. I respect a good ass trailer.
Yeah,
And
you can feel the characters mourn and grief in this trailer. It's a very, I'd say it's the most emotional trailer that Marvel has had thus far, and I think it's a very respectful trailer. I think the only thing that I've seen people disagree with on the trailer, I mean, it's not even the trailer itself. It's the fact that he's not being recast, which a lot of people wanted that. But that's not even an issue with the trailer. It's just the how the movie is going to turn out to be,
Yeah. It's just I mean everything combined with it, the visuals, the mood, the tone, and that's one thing I always respected about Black Panther. It was one of my favorite movies from that year when it came out in February. But what I always respect about it is like, it really stuck to its own tone, its own kind of flavor. That it's not just a part of the MCU. It's like it really feels like its own thing, and that's what made it stand out so much when it came out. And this one seems like it's going to be doing the exact same thing. It's going to be really heartbreaking not to have Chadwick Boseman in there. But
they had a mural on the trailer.
Yeah, exactly. So I really feel like at the beginning of this movie we're really going to deal with the fact that T'Challa has passed away, and which I thought was like the whole symbolism with all of them dressed in white, and then the actual mural that was in there. So maybe it could be like his like parade funeral or something like that, or celebration funeral.
Yeah. I mean, when you see them go down from the top view, you see Shuri carrying a Black Panther mask.
Yeah.
Black Panther mask, helmet thing. So. And I really like the remix that they had, or their version of "No Woman No Cry" by Bob Marley. It was very nice. It was a very nice song to put with the trailer itself.
Yeah, blending with the Kendrick Lamar's "All Right." Yeah, they did.
That was so hype.
Yeah,
so hype. Oh, so good.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that. So that movie's gonna be really great, and I can't wait to watch that, man. I watched that trailer. It has like what I saw like on Monday. It had like 20 million views. I'm pretty sure I gave it at least 1 million views. Just rewatching it over and over and over and over again because it was so good. But yeah, man, that's it. That's all for me this week.
Macho or Walt, what about you, man?
Macho number 2. So this week, man, same as Macho, I've been playing Live Alive. Not as much as he's played it. I have been playing it, but I've also been playing Control on the PlayStation. So getting through that as well. I'm still pretty early in the game, but I just fought. I'm literally very early. You're gonna know when I say this. I just fought Tomasi, which is like literally the first like of the board members that you fight. And in my mind, that fight was much harder than I thought. Like the first time that I fought Tomasi, I was like, damn, why am I can't hit him. But it's right because he just dodges and weaves. But then I didn't know that you could. With your telekinesis, pick up something and not even pull it all the way to you. You can just, as you pull it up, look elsewhere and it'll automatically go with you and hit the person that you want. Like it's literally like the Force. So,
Hey, Level 1 Gaming, thanks for the congrats on 100, by the way. They just left a comment.
Hey, level 1, that was that. But I'm having a blast with Control Live Alive. I'm playing multiplayer games with some friends. Two of my friends got PS5s, so I've been helping them get accustomed to them and figuring it out. Playing the Forest.
What are they? Cavemen? They don't know how to set it up. What's going on?
You'd be surprised.
It's a Puerto Rican, probably.
They were.
That makes sense.
So there's like very quality of life things that like you don't immediately think about. Like I didn't figure out until like a month after. No, wait, Walter, you're just dumb. Editing out symbols in the bottom hotbar, like that's not something that I just did the first time I got the PS5. Like I got to edit that like a few weeks after. So just some small stuff like that, like, oh hey guys, you should do this like this, you should do this like that. Playing Fortnite with them, playing Dead by Daylight with them. I mean, it's been a multiplayer kind of week. Monster Hunter, I got them to download Monster Hunter World, and
As you should.
Macho, I got them to download Final Fantasy 14.
Yes, sir! Woo-hoo! Let's go! Sorry.
So we're gonna be. I think I'm gonna have that little group. See if we get into it as a group and continue with my character. Pay that membership again and see if I can get back to it.
Oh, damn. You see the priorities and friends here, though? Soul? That's kind of wild.
Yeah.
Listen,
I've been
buddy,
begging this man to come back to 14.
Listen, buddy. This means that there's like
It's wild.
more reasons to come back. Okay.
More
You're
reasons.
too over leveled. You're too powerful. I feel small.
I should be enough, Walt. I should be enough for a reason. Am I not enough for you?
You sound
Oh,
so
man.
Puerto Rican right now. You sound
'cause-
so Puerto.
it's
You
'cause I
sound
am
like a
Puerto-
Latina right now.
That's because I am Puerto Rican. Well, speaking of
Yeah.
Latinas, let's move on to our next up. No, I'm just kidding.
We ain't there yet. We ain't there yet.
But aside from games, this week I started Falcon and Winter Soldier. I never watched that show, so I started watching that. It was like 2 years ago that it came out.
Did it?
I don't know, like a year ago or something. I don't know. It's been a while. I'm on episode 3. I just finished episode 3. I'm really enjoying the show. It's definitely, there's no magic. It's all Captain America, Winter Soldier, like kind of thing, like those movies. Like it's very militaristic.
Oh, what's the name of the show again?
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I've only, because here's the thing, the only Marvel show that I've watched is WandaVision. That's the only one I've watched. I haven't seen Loki. I haven't seen Falcon Winter Soldier. I haven't seen Moon Knight. No Miss Marvel. Nothing. Oh, and What If? I saw What If, but I don't know if that even counts like as a mainline, like proper show. I don't know.
It does, yeah. It does. It actually does play
Because-
into like their timeline and stuff like that.
Okay, because it's more like it felt like an anthology at the beginning, and then it all comes, and all together.
Yeah, that's why I didn't really finish it, but from what I hear, like there's a couple of characters that
It's really good. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed it. But aside from that, y'all, this week I watched Jordan Peele's Nope, and I don't know if you two have y'all seen it.
I have not.
I'm not giving anything away, but I gotta say that this movie, it is, once again, with Jordan Peele, he doesn't miss. I mean, both Get Out and Us, both great movies, and this one is just, holy hell, man. This is a thrill ride. There's horror and there's comedy in there. Like, it very much like Get Out. Like, there is some comedy, but it doesn't take away from the seriousness of the plot. A lot of surrealism, a lot of play with imagery. Oh, man, it is a phenomenal movie.
I still haven't watched a Jordan Peele movie.
Dude, Jordan Peele makes incredible movies. If anything, I there's no order. Just watch Nope, man. Just go to the theater, take Sammy, and watch Nope. It's a fantastic movie. I might rewatch it again because it's really good, y'all. But yeah, man. I watched that. When was it? Last night? Yeah, it was last night with some friends, and we all loved it. I saw a couple trailers before that. And it's so weird that there's a movie that is being marketed as a horror movie with Idris Elba. It's called Beast. And it's literally just them in the safari, like trying to survive a lion and like the wild. It doesn't, it's kind of stupid that
that it doesn't feel like horror. Like you're in the wild. What do you expect? There's gonna be lions. There's gonna be like predators trying to kill you. Like why are we being? This is not horror. This is just life. I don't know. It's a weird. It's like that one shark movie, not Jaws, the one that had shallows or gallows in the. Yeah, shallows in the title. It was just one girl stranded in the middle of the ocean on a rock, and it was just this one shark, like stalking her. I don't know. It's not. It's a weird type of movie, but yeah, man. Had a blast with Nope, playing some games, and anticipating some Latina in my games. Hopefully in the future, which we'll get into.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so God, I can't wait to get to that topic. Yeah, so for me, let's see. Bleach. I've been watching a lot more Bleach.
Cool.
Which
Have you seen it in the past?
I feel like we've had this conversation.
No, have you?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
but I stopped watching it and like just recently picked it back up again. I'm at the whole like Espada arc stuff right now.
No idea.
Yeah, that stuff is banging. I love that.
Well, Macho, we got to talk honestly about this.
Oh man, what's going on?
First of all, tell me who this reminds you of. Ichigo.
You're talking about Orihime. Okay.
Literally, I was this fucking close to dropping this anime, man. Like literally every time. So during the whole Ichigo versus Ukiura fight, the entire time she's on screen, Ichigo. I'm like, that's all that she says. That's all that she says, and I'm like, shut up! If you're not gonna say anything else, stop. Just stop.
So she's just another Sakura?
No, like Hinata, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. Orihime is a damsel in distress. Yeah.
Yeah. It just sucks because like, man, like you see fucking Soifon there, you see fucking Yoruichi, you see Rukia, right? All these badass women, right? Tyr Halibel,
A lot
Nell.
more to come. A lot more to come.
Yeah, they're all fucking cool. They all do shit. And then you have Orihime there, just Ichigo. I'm just like, fuck, man.
Trust me, there are better girls to simp for. Just don't worry about Orihime right now.
Yeah, man. Trust me, I ain't worrying about her.
Alright,
but then
good,
also like
good.
that fight with Ichigo and Ukiura, like I don't know, man, because for years I've just been hearing like that's just like one of the most like legendary fights in anime, right? That it's up there with like Naruto versus Pain and all this stuff, and then like
wow.
and then like I was watching it and I like kept waiting for like that moment to like truly be like blown away, and like I don't know, like I just it never came for me. Like I don't know, that fight was just like it was cool, and it was cool seeing Ukiura like, you know, transform into that like winged state or whatever, and then seeing Ichigo like completely hollowfy and whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't know, that fight was like, and then it just like ended with him just like, I don't know, like him fading away by himself without Ichigo like really doing anything. Like I don't know, that fight was weird. And then like, so now we get to the actual like the other fights with the rest of the Espada, the top 3 ranked Espada, and that's like where I'm at right now. And I feel like this is just like, this isn't even like a problem with like Bleach specifically, but it's a problem with like all anime. It's probably why I stopped watching anime, to be honest. Is that like characters don't fucking shut up during these fights, man. They have full on conversations when they're in the middle of like, you know, battling each other, man. And I'm just like, I know it's like, you
That's
know,
the shonen problem. It is a problem
Exactly.
with shonen. Yeah.
Exactly, and I know it's, you know, for pacing issues, right? They're trying not to catch up with the manga and all this stuff.
Specifically the old ones. New anime has gotten a lot better because I think Jujutsu Kaisen and My Hero do a great job at not having people just talk.
Exactly, but it's like for like all of these fights, man. It's like Oh, so you don't know what just happened right now? Well, let me explain my power. Let me tell you
Yeah.
exactly what happened to you.
Yeah,
And
man,
it's just
that's how we
like,
got the character backstories back then, man.
I know, and like in some cases, it's like literally these characters are telling the other character like their weakness or like how to like circumvent their powers or whatever. Um, and then Soifon's lieutenant, the fat guy, I don't know his name. It starts with like an M or whatever, but like he's so fucking annoying. Like he's like a coward, and like Soifon's like constantly telling him to shut up, but like every time Barrigan or whatever is like he moves or something, and then this lieutenant's just like, oh, he's so scary, oh my god, like I can't fight him, and shit like that. Like I don't know, man. It's again, it's just the talking, man. The constant talking, and then like you couple that with like the still frames where it's just like the camera just like panning like slowly over characters' faces, right? Not saying anything. I don't know, man. And again,
Yeah,
like I
it's
said
pacing
earlier,
issues.
it's I know this is just a product of anime at that time, but like, man, dude, I
Still
found
sucks.
myself. I found myself literally just like skipping over scenes, man, because I was just like, let's fucking get to it, man, like please. But yeah,
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, I know.
yeah,
For hindsight is 2020, right?
yeah, for sure. And like, and the thing is that like once I started like the Vizards, once they showed up to the battle, I was like I was totally back into it, man. Like I was really hyped when they showed up as like reinforcements and were helping out the captains. Um, like I'm always down for a good, like last minute character that you don't expect showing up to the battle to help out, the other characters or whatever. Like I'm always
Yeah.
down for that.
It's
The
epic.
classic like anime entrance, right? That kind of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that happened in this battle, so like yeah, I was super excited for that stuff. But yeah, man, just like again, just way too much talking. Like with Stark specifically, Stark's battle against that guy with the pink kimono. Um, Literally, the guy in the pink kimono is like, "Well, wait a minute. There's clearly a relationship between you and that girl, and it's closer than I imagined, right?" And Stark's just like, what do you mean by that? Just like they have a full-on conversation in the middle of their fight. Like they stop fighting to talk about this thing. That's super clear to the obvious to the audience. But and that's another thing. Like oh my god, how do I say this? Like after a character does like a specific attack or something like that, then the other character like step by step says exactly what just happened. And like I know it's for the audience's sake, but it's like I know what happened. You don't need to explain what happened. It's just shit like that, dude. That just like I think is the reason why I stopped watching anime in general. But then again, it's like the anime that I was into, like the seinen stuff, like the more like
Like
things like
Psychopaths.
sure, or Ghost in the Shell, or
Yeah.
shit like Black Lagoon or Jormungandr, like shit like that doesn't happen in that anime because again they're like 24 episode animes, shit, right? So
Yeah, and seinen is more geared towards
Adults,
males,
yeah,
adult
yeah.
males and whatnot. Yeah.
so yeah, you don't have to worry about people in the middle of battles having to explain their powers and shit like that. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah. If
So, yeah.
anything, I think that the shonen that does when there's no powers, but it does it well with those moments of battle is too specifically Jujutsu Kaisen specifically because there is a scene where Toto is, I believe he's doing a move or he's analyzing a move, and he's having a flashback. That's what it is. And after that flashback, the actual anime like it tells you exactly point something seconds have passed by. That's how fast Toto thought about this. And then you have stuff like Haikyuu, where they zoom in on the character's face and they have a timer on the bottom left, as the character's like, okay, so he's gonna either do this, or this, and the timer's like 1 second. Okay, 1 second pass, and the time that he thought about this, which makes it less immersion breaking, but again, product of its time. You're right, because I mean, try
Like
watching One
it could
Piece.
like it
No,
is
don't try
cool
One
so-
Piece.
like it is cool sometimes when you're telling me shit that like I don't know. Shit that I haven't figured out for myself. Like Hunter x Hunter is really good about that.
Oh, dude,
The way
the
that
whole
they have
arc is like that.
like a lot of their arcs are like that.
But
yeah.
the Chimera Ant one is specifically, literally, when they infiltrate the palace where the Hen King is.
Yeah, that's
Literally,
a
the
great
narrator's
that's
there
a great
for the
scene.
whole.
Yeah, that's a great episode. But yeah, like I when it's shit that like I don't know or it hasn't clicked with me, then I appreciate when they do stuff like that. When the character's like, okay, like how do I figure this ability out or whatever. But when it's already clearly obvious to the audience, I've already figured out and they still like feel the need to explain it, that's when I'm kind of like, okay, like I already know what's happening here. You don't need to explain it to me. But yeah, regardless, I obviously like I'm still watching. Like I last night I probably knocked out like 5 episodes in a row because I'm really interested in what's happening right now. But
It's still a good show.
yeah,
Or so I hear.
it would be absolutely and like I was watching Naruto week to week when it was coming out, so like trust me, I know how brutal this shit can be. But yeah, it would be absolutely brutal if I was watching Bleach back in the day, like week to week. Thank God that it's all on Hulu and I can skip through the recap and I can skip through the scenes that I just don't want to listen to and just get to the stuff that I am interested in.
Which,
Oh yeah, dude.
again,
I watched it week to week when that Spy arc was going on, and I was like,
same.
okay. And that's
Sorry,
that's
man.
why I dropped off, because like it we'll go for times where like we'll be for a while without a season, and then it'll just be filler. It wouldn't be like actually passing through like the actual story. So
yeah.
that's why I
dropped the
stopped
Naruto
watching. I
anime.
think after I think it was the Arankar arc,
Yeah.
which is like way later from like what you're doing. I think it's like season 10 or something like that. I stopped watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man, that's Bleach. Aside from that, I watched this movie on Hulu over the course of like 3 days, called King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. This movie, man,
Is that the one with Charlie Hunnam?
Yeah.
Okay.
They got like a weirdly like star-studded cast, man. They have fucking David Beckham is in the movie for whatever
What the
reason.
hell?
What? Dude, the last time I saw him in a movie was freaking Goal with the Santiago soccer player, man. What the hell?
Lee.
But yeah, he's in it. Littlefinger's in it.
What?
They got fucking Millie Brady, who is Ethelfled from The Last Kingdom. She's in it. Grace from Peaky Blinders is in it. They got that one kung fu master from Marco Polo on Netflix. He's in it. Yeah, so they got a really interesting cast in it. But yeah, it's basically just like kind of like what I said about God, what's its name? The Northman, that movie that came out earlier this year. Just kind of like a tried and true classic revenge tale of like, oh, the king gets killed by the brother or the uncle or whatever, and then the son escapes, and then the son has to return years later as a man and avenge his father and reclaim the throne or whatever, right? So it's a story that we've seen several times already, and that's basically what this movie is. But like the twist is that like Excalibur is like it does some fucking anime shit for you, man. Like this is like a really fantastical version of like the King Arthur like story. So there's like sirens, there's monsters and shit. So basically every time that this man gets the sword, like every swing basically creates like, imagine some like Saitama shit, dude. Like it creates like this giant like gust of wind, and it just like blows everyone back, and it like destroys buildings. It's pretty wild. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with the movie. It's really cool. I was a little disappointed by like, the third act, because like the third act is like what you expect, right? Like the main character, he gets like this group of rebels together. They attack, the city in order Camelot for him to like reclaim it from his uncle. But it was like really really quick, right? It wasn't like the big final battle that you expected. It happened like really really fast, so I was kind of let down by that. But the one thing I wanted to highlight about this movie, guys, is the fucking music. The music is sick, dude. It is fucking sick. It's by
Love to
the
see it.
composer. It's by the composer who did Spider-Verse. Strangely enough.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this guy's got fucking range. It's like his music in this movie is just like, it's like what's the term, like head banging or head nodding or whatever.
Just
yeah.
nodding. I mean, how hard are you moving your head?
Whoa, pause.
Yo.
Well, choose your
come
words more
on.
carefully, sir.
Yeah.
We're
Come
on
on,
we're on
man.
professional time. We got 100 subscribers, sir.
Yeah, man. We can't, I wouldn't be surprised if they start unsubscribing after that, man.
Hey yo.
But yeah, man, it's just like the kind of music that really gets like your adrenaline like flowing, man. Like it fucks, man. Straight up, man. It's dope. I gotta send you guys some of it, cause yeah, it's like the kind of music that you listen to like when you're working out or some shit like that.
Yeah, throw that
gives me
shit my
chills.
way, man. You know I'm all about that.
Yeah, it's really dope. Like it's honestly like one of my favorite soundtracks like ever. It's funny because like this movie, like it didn't do well like at all in the box office. But if you go on YouTube and you look up the soundtrack, it's got millions of fucking views, man. Because like that was like the one thing that like everyone like recognizes about that movie that was just like universally like good. Yeah, which is really funny. Like I think one of the songs has like 4.5 million views or something like that. Like it's pretty
Damn.
insane. Yeah.
It's
Consistently, like
crazy.
most of the songs on that on the playlist has like over 1 million views. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But yeah, man, and the action like sequences as well. There was this one towards like during the final battle where Arthur's like using the sword. It's like every time where he actually uses the sword, it's like this fucking event, man. And like one of the final times that he uses it, it's like it's just like my jaw was on the floor because it was like, I don't know if you guys ever saw the Witcher 3 Killing Monsters trailer.
Yeah.
It was literally like that. It was literally like that. The CGI is disgusting. I'll just say that. Like it literally looks like I don't know, like a 2000s CGI cutscene in like a Resident Evil like CGI like cutscene in one of those games. Like it looks really bad. Like it really looks like just computers character, like plastic characters just moving around. But it's dope as hell, dude. But yeah, man, I saw that movie. It was really cool. Again, the music and the montages in that movie is also really cool. Just the way that it's cut and edited is really unique. I feel like really fast edits, like where it's just like bouncing from like one character to the next. There was like this one scene that they were like looking for like this boy, and Arthur's like talking to like the watch guard or whatever, and the guy's like, so we're looking for Blue Boy, and then there's like multiple characters in the room, so they're all participating in this conversation, and they're like, what boy? Blue Boy? That boy? Yeah, that boy. Like it's just like moving back and forth between all these characters, and it's really fun editing. But yeah, great movie, really loved it. And the last thing I'll talk about is Elden Ring. Elden Ring.
Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
Boys, so I made it to the Halleck Tree, made it to Far Missoula. Last bosses I beat was who's the Royal Knight at the Halleck Tree? It starts with an L, like Lanetta or something like that.
Loretta.
Loretta, yeah. So beat her, beat the Godskin duo, beat the fire giant. There was another one that I beat. I'm not remembering.
Malekith?
No, not Malekith.
Did you beat? Did you try to go to the throne? Did you fight Morgoth or not?
Yeah. I beat Morgoth.
Okay. So
Oh, Mog. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Okay, the fire guy.
The blood, with the blood.
Yeah, blood fire. But he's all the way to the side on his own
Right.
place.
But he's well, God's Can Do was the last boss I beat, but Mog was like the second to last one I beat.
Did we fight that one, Paul?
I fought him. I think you fought. That's where the farming area is. The Haroon farming area is.
That's the place like
okay.
where it's like
where the
you
dino
can
dogs are.
Where you can literally see it across when you get to Soifra River, like you can literally see his palace like off in the distance, but you can't reach it.
Yeah.
By like the Soifra River, you have to like I took a teleporter and got to that place.
No, that is how you get there. That's where Macho. That's where Millennia's brother is in the big cocoon.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I did that. Honestly, the only memory I have of Elden Ring at this point is Malekith, and like the last stretch of the dungeon that we did, and then a couple other stuff.
You really should have like kept a lot of that in your mind because that game's so beautiful. Dr. Mo would be so mad at you.
Listen, man.
What?
Horizon Forbidden West took over. That's why.
With that shit. Listen, that section. So that is where there's a cliff where you can farm a certain like enemy and get like I don't know how many runes per kill, and like people exploited that like crazy.
Gotcha.
But yeah,
so fought Mog. But the thing I wanted to say was I came pretty close to uninstalling this game and never looking back.
That's right.
Whoa.
That's right.
Because I what's going on, Macho? What's going on?
What's happening, huh?
I just like to get the reactions out of every time.
Yeah, you enjoy getting my blood pressure and a tizzy?
Oh man, that sounds like a you problem then. I'm talking about video games.
You know what you're doing.
Continue. Look at these.
Yeah. So I came close to uninstalling because of one person.
Oh boy.
I know who it is too. I know who it is.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Melania.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Welcome on in, brother.
This boss is fucking bullshit, man.
Yes, sir.
and to be frank, so is Godskin Duo. That fight is fucking stupid as well. Because like the thing with gank fights, man, is that like I haven't played Dark Souls 1, but like the thing with that made Ornstein and Smo so like good was the sort of balance of like one of them was pursuing you while the other one hung back and was slow and prodding, but like you could in your peripheral you always had to pay attention to where Smo, right? He's the fat one. Yeah, you always had to pay attention to where he was, even though he was slower. With Godskin Duo, they're both fucking coming at you, and it's just like, okay, this isn't balanced like at all.
And they have the thing where I forgot the name, but it is a mechanic that developers put in there that whenever you heal, they automatically have an attack that they're gonna do. So
I was telling Macho that the moment my thumb hovers over the square button, you better believe that an attack is coming at you. That they throw fire at you or some shit like that.
Mm-hmm. Jay, you know that episode in SpongeBob where he's stuck in rock bottom, and whenever he's gonna go for the vending machine snack, the bus is like peeking from the back. That's you with the flask, and Godskin's like, cast, nope, cast, nope.
Yep. But yeah, that boss fight was obviously stupid. But also, Torrent fucking sucks. Let me just say that. Torrent sucks.
He's been there for you, man. He sucks.
Yeah, but why does he get stun locked so easily? Why is he weak to fire? Apparently, there's these normal ass zombified walking humans or whatever that have torches. Don't put a torch near Torrent because apparently he can't handle that. He gets literally like stuck with torches and literally half of his health gets like knocked out. he gets stun locked so easily to the point where like he literally died so much at the mountaintops of the giants, and your character just like takes a fucking nap on the floor, lays down on the ground, and someone else can come up and just like stab you while you're laying on the floor. So yeah, I hate Torrent. But specifically with the late game areas, so like Farm Azula, the Halig Tree, even the mountaintop of the giants. Why do I have fucking 57 vigor, and I'm getting two-shotted by these enemies in these areas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because that ain't all there is. You gotta get good gear as well. It's not about only the attributes.
Oh, man. I got fucking endgame gear, baby. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that.
You're just getting clapped, man. Gotta get good.
Nah, actually, so the thing is, when I was the same way, dude. I was like, dude, why am I getting like absolutely demolished by like this end gear stuff? Like, especially Malekith, right? Like, I was level 180 or something like that. Like, I actually grinded levels. Like, I actually farmed levels. I used the exploits, right? Because I just wanted to just get through like the really good stuff of the game. And even then, when I got to Malekith and I got to like the end game boss, I was getting my ass whooped, boy. And it's because the game actually like it doesn't tailor. What's the word? Like it levels out like with like it mediates around what your level is, especially the end game part. So you can't escape the difficulty no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
it is difficult. Here's the thing. I do agree that there's a point in the game where it just spikes. Like the difficulty just go, wait a minute, why are enemies just like bombarding me with these just one hits and killing me instantly? What I do think that makes Malekith specifically even worse is the fact that he has fire that decreases your overall health. So no matter how much health you have, you're gonna get messed up. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get demolished like that end game stuff. Like there's like no way going around that.
especially around the north part, the giant part. I just spat through that. I didn't fight any of those dogs, any of those birds. No, I just went straight to the fire giant. I got the flame, and I ran back. I did not stick around in that area because I acknowledged that area was BS. Same with the Halig Tree. You're in the endgame area. Like the Halig Tree is not. You're fighting millennia. Like that's like, it's horrible. It's horrible.
That was me. That was me with literally the Farmer Zula. But the area before you get to the Godskin Duo, there was literally like 8 knights walking around that area. And like, you know, the ones with like, you know, the giant great shield and like a giant great sword as well.
Yeah, I skipped all those motherfuckers.
The ones that do like the wind stop or whatever, the wind stomp. Those. There's like fucking 8 of them. And like it like my flasks or whatever, I get down to like I have 12 in total. I get down to like 5 just fighting like 2 of them. And you're telling me I gotta fight like 8 of them? Hell no. So like I had to like run past like all of them. And then like the thing is that like I'm sprinting my ass off to get back to the fog gate.
Right.
And my character is too slow because like, you know, he just like walks through it, and then they fucking like they're right behind the fog gate and they still attack you and I still get hit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the yeah, but whatever. That's a little thing. So my thing with Melania, let's talk about Melania. And this is kind of like bosses in general. With this game specifically, man, I'm finding this thing of like I'm doing just a lot of watching, man, a lot of watching and going like, okay, like when is it my fucking turn? Like I'm seeing Melania, you know, reeling off these 8-hit fucking combos one after another. She finishes one and she jumps right into another one, and I think that's the same thing with Malekith, that he does the same thing. And Malekith specifically, like I'm just watching him fucking hopping around in the air, like where I can't even, like I don't have any ranged things. I don't use a staff or any projectiles or anything like that. So like I'm literally just on the floor, like waiting for him to come down and shit like that. But Melania specifically, just like the reaction time is just like it's impossible for me, man, to like to be able to react to some of the shit that she's doing, because it's like she reels off like a quick like 3-hit combo and then like immediately jumps into another one, and it's just like, okay, like I don't know. Like I feel like I'm just waiting so much more than I've ever had to in these games, and it's like it's gotten to a point where it's just like it's not fun for me to just stand around and wait for like I'm literally waiting for these bosses to finish off doing what they're doing. It no longer feels like a duel, right? Like
Hmm.
fucking Father Gascoigne, like that's a fucking back and forth duel, right?
Yeah.
Or Lady Maria or Germaine from Bloodborne, right? Like those are all duels, or even like something like Lady Eileen, who isn't like your typical boss, but like that's a duel, right? That's a one-on-one like endurance match, right? And I feel like even in Dark Souls 3, like a lot of those bosses I felt like had some of that, like Pontiff Sullivan, right?
Yeah, yep, I
Right?
agree.
Him,
Yeah.
or well, not even the dancer, because even she had that fucking twirly twirl bullshit that she did. But like even that like was kind of the same thing where like I felt like, okay, like I could pick and choose my times to jump in there and attack her and then get away when she did that shit. But you guys get what I'm trying to say? We're I
Yeah.
don't know, like
No, I do.
I feel like there's
I can relate. If I can interrupt real quick, because that's one of the reasons why I haven't gone back to the Kingdom Hearts 3 final boss DLC, or DLC, and then, like the final boss in that Remind DLC, because it's literally you're gonna be doing the exact same thing. You have to watch what they're doing, and study it, and then learn to when to find the time windows, and that's what a lot of Millennia is.
and
Yeah.
even that like that's what a lot of these bosses are in all these From games. It's just like watching and learning and memorizing their attack patterns and whatever. So like when this boss does this, I have to dodge forward or I have to dodge backwards or whatever the case may be. But with her, I feel like
Right.
it's just so fucking erratic. It is so inconsistent. There's fights where she doesn't even use the waterfowl dance. There's
Yeah.
I didn't know that she could block your attacks till like my fucking 10th try. I was like, where the fuck did that come from? There's times where like specifically with the waterfowl, she has like another ability where she just jumps into the air and she hangs up in there, but she doesn't do the waterfowl dance. It's just like a charge attack or whatever. And there's like no way that you can discern like, okay, now she's doing the waterfowl dance or now she's doing her other attack while she's in the air. Um, so I don't know. I just feel like with her specifically, it's just like there's almost too much for you to actually like memorize and learn with that boss, where it's just like it just becomes like ridiculous for the player to actually realistically have to memorize and learn all this shit.
Yeah. I do
So
think
yeah.
that she's on the side of Soul's history where thank God she's optional, and I think purposefully enough because she is the kind of boss that because she is beatable. I mean, some people have proven to have beaten her, whether that be only with one weapon, no magic, with mega magic, broken builds, with three people. Like there are ways to beat her, but it does require for your gameplay to be very unorthodox and be very different from what you're accustomed to at the whole playthrough. I mean, a reason why what other Souls game has there been a situation where a legend amongst the fan base like was built like let me solo her like to the point where a boss was so difficult that a person became known because he beat her so many times and got so good fighting her. It's because not everyone could get good fighting her or could like actually beat her, and if you do beat her there's a second phase. So like
Oh,
a,
yeah, yeah, I know.
so a lot of people were like, "Damn, yes, I finally beat her." Why is there a cutscene? Why is there a cutscene? And it sucks because I think my biggest thing with her is the fact that she's very easy to stagger. You can stagger her easily, which I think that's why
Oh yeah.
there's not a lot of window, but when there is, you can just keep her on a loop. But here's the thing, so if she gets out of that loop, you're dead because she's gonna go aggro on you real quick.
Yeah.
And the thing with that is that you can block it, but she's gonna keep healing, and that's my biggest problem with her.
Oh, that too.
She heals when she hits you, no matter if you block or not.
Which is
That's
bullshit.
it's completely Millennia is the BS of BSs. Like she is, I'd say she's worse than Orphan of Kos in certain ways, because Millennia it's a lot of design inner that is very different from past Souls games. But I think Orphan of Kos is more. It's more of that one-on-one kind of thing. It's more of a Philo Casgoin versus the hunter. But Millennia, dude, I beat her with 3 people. Me and 2 other people that I summoned. I was like, just gang up on her. There, I got the trophy. I don't care.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I just summoned at the end and eventually got it. I will say in that summon I did the most hits. But so I felt some sort of redemption there, but still, like, I definitely needed some people to like help distract her as I went in for like the stuns.
And here's the thing, I don't feel shame at that, because a lot of people are like, oh no, you have to beat her like it's like, here's the thing. Elden Ring, the beauty of it, Millennia, you can beat her on your own with 3 people, 2 people, like everything is possible. But sometimes there are things that you want to do a certain way and it doesn't work out, and you have to change your playstyle purposefully to make it work. That's where it falls apart, because I mean, how difficult it is to make sure that every boss fight is beatable with every single kind of build in the game. Like, there's so many ways that you can build a character, bleed, frost. The Godskin duo. Did you guys know that the Godskin duo, you can apply sleep to your weapons and put one to sleep while you beat the other one?
Yeah, I heard that.
I didn't know that until after I beat them through agony.
Yeah.
Like, and I gotta emphasize on this. So, like, I gotta bring it up. The Godskin duo, we have fought Orange Sea and Smile. We have fought the Lorien Prince in Dark Souls 3. They have set health. The thing about the Godskin duo, they can be 1 hit from being dead, and both of their health bars being completely full. And you hit them once, and they both die. And that's so. You're just running on a loop until the bottom health bar is gone. There's some design in this game that's questionable, but I think the pros overweigh the cons. Like, I think there's a lot of good in this game, but the bad things, they're pretty drastic.
It's like you guys were talking about, having to summon help and stuff like that. Like, I had to use like my mimic tier multiple times for that Millennia fight, and it's just like, and I haven't beaten her yet, but like, the thing is that like the fact that I have to use that in the first place, like, I don't want to have to use a mimic tier. I don't want to have to like summon or anything like that. It's not even like a pride thing. It's just like you should feel like I'll never forget how I felt when I first beat Martyr Ligorius in Bloodborne. Like that boss fight, for whatever the reason, like I don't know if people found him hard or whatever, but for whatever reason, that was the boss fight that made me like jump out of my seat and be like, fuck yes. And in this late game with Elden Ring, I would say like most of the bosses in Elden Ring, I haven't had any of that. Like, I with these bosses, I get so, whenever I do end up beating like Godskin Duo or Mog, for instance, like, it's not even like a sigh of relief. Like, I'm still fucking pissed off even when I see them go down. Like, I'm not happy. Like, I don't feel like I don't feel like hell yeah, like I did that. Like, I just feel like I got lucky or whatever. Like, it doesn't feel like accomplishment anymore. Like, I'm still fucking mad when I see them go down. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I honestly, I kind of get that because, man, when I actually played Dark Souls 3 with Walt, that was like one of the most like fun times I had playing a FromSoft game, which is why like I kind of wanted to capture that magic again playing Elden Ring with them. And even then, after beating the bosses, I was like, yes, it doesn't feel the same.
Yeah, it's not as intimate, and I think I mean we've talked about it. It's the intimacy that you have in a Dark Souls 3, where it does feel like a smaller world. It does feel like this is it. You beat the level. You're gonna fight, Pontiff Sullivan. You enter this big cathedral. He's there. He's right there. Versus a, like, oh, you can do whatever you want at any time. Bosses are here. They're already like it. I don't know. There's a psychology to it that it is interesting, but I don't know, man. It sucks because the game is so good. The game is really good, but it doesn't capture that same intimacy that a Bloodborne or Dark Souls 3 has.
Yeah, there's a couple of standouts though, I will say for sure. Like Malekith was like one of the standouts for me. The Moon boss, what's her name? Renala. That was a big standout to me. And there's probably like one or two more. I'm just forgetting things. Raban.
Radon.
Radon. Oh, dude, Radon.
Yeah,
Sweet.
that first time was like mind blowing too. That was like really cool, but like everything else is kind of like.
So did you fight Oh my God, what's his name? What's the serpent guy name?
Oh yeah, I fought him.
What do you think about that fight? Because that was like the Yorm Giant, the classic. You need this sword to beat him, whatever.
Yeah, that was probably the best version of that fight.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
It's but still, like, even with that, like, it's the classic From Software bullshit with the hitboxes where that snake was like feet away from me. I'm on the opposite side of the screen, and I just teleport into the snake's mouth.
Yeah.
So it's shit like that, man. But like, I don't know. It's like, I'm not even saying that these like move sets of these bosses are like, that they are impossible to dodge. That they're even like totally difficult to dodge.
Right.
Or that you can't avoid them or whatever. But they're just too excessive, man. Like it's getting to a point where it's just like they're throwing way too much at the player. At least how I feel. Like the windups are like super unclear to me. They're just like downright impossible to read.
It's a big buffer window. Big buffer window they do.
They sometimes like inflict unavoidable damage despite you rolling and reading and running the fuck away. Like specifically with the waterfowl dance, I'm like clear away from Melania, like running the fuck away, and she still just like teleports all the way to me and still uses that attack on me.
Did you beat the game?
It tests
by the
your
way?
patience a lot.
No. I'm like I was at Farm Azula, which I'm guessing is like the last area in the game, and like.
Right.
I'm like literally like last night I was like I feel burnt out, man. Like I don't want to play anymore. Like after I beat Godskin Duo and I was just like exploring like the later areas of that area.
Right.
I don't know. I'm reaching a point where I'm just like I feel like I got everything I wanted from this experience.
You're 3 bosses away from beating it.
I know.
But man, like I was about to say, man.
But those are the 3 like.
If he's getting frustrated, Millennia's the toughest boss in the game, yes. But if he's getting frustrated with Millennia, you're gonna fucking hate the last 2 bosses.
No, but here's the thing, Millennia. It'd be surprised if you said, "Man, I cannot beat the final boss." Oh, then you don't want to touch Millennia. I feel like because you've experienced the amount of bullshit with Millennia, you won't have as hard of a time with the last 2. Well, again, play style may differ.
Well, that's the. I was thinking that too, but the thing is that the last 2 bosses, Soul, they have big buffer windows that are like pretty like difficult to read, and they have a lot of defense, and like there's stuff that you're gonna be dying a lot to those bosses. Just like, I mean, maybe you won't, maybe you just beat them real quickly, but they have really big buffer windows, so you gotta read those pinpoint, or else you're gonna get demolished.
I mean, I've seen Elden Beast already.
Right.
And
that one's whatever. That's not that bad.
Radagon is the.
Yeah.
That's
he doesn't look too bad, but like Elden Beast,
isn't.
I think. Yeah, but like Elden
No,
Beast
he
is like
he is.
No. Here's the thing.
Because that stupid ass buffer window in the area of attack he does.
Contrary to Millennia, Radagon is more predictable. It's very predictable. I'd argue, versus Millennia that's all over the place. I think your big problem will come with Malekith. I think that's where you're gonna have but you're gonna enjoy. Here's the thing: if you fight Malekith, I'd say just leave it at that. You don't even have to beat it, because with Malekith, I think you get the prime Souls experience with the boss fight.
Yeah, Malekith was more fun to me than like the last 2 bosses for sure. Like I wanted to throw my controller across the room.
I don't know, because like I saw Elden Beast, and I feel like he again just like encapsulates this problem of like that was like really, really cemented with Millennia, where like they do these fucking 10-hit combos, but like you roll and you dodge every single one of their attacks, and then you have no stamina left to do an attack yourself. And I feel like with Elden Beast specifically, that problem is just gonna like balloon with him, because like I see that he literally just like swims underwater and he goes on the opposite end of the screen. So like you're literally spending like a lot of that fight having to sprint to catch up to him, and then once you actually catch up to him, you barely have any stamina to actually do some attacks of your own, and then he immediately swims underneath you and goes to like another area in its entirety.
What's so unfortunate about that boss is that sometimes I did think at some point that FromSoft had in mind that they were gonna do Torrent in that boss fight, like you were gonna be able to
you can't summon fucking Torrent,
but you can't. I feel like they scratched that, but it does feel like that boss fight was set up for that. Like, hey, you've had
absolutely.
We've had this Steed the whole game. This is it. This is the moment to use him against another beast. Like it. Here's the thing. At the very least, experiencing that boss fight is beautiful. If you saw it, I mean, it's a beautiful boss fight. The creature, it is a beautiful creature. Yeah. The music is from. That's one thing I think we can agree that Elden Ring has like some of the best music in the franchise. I think every boss fight so thus far has had a phenomenal track. Shut the. And the last one,
Bloodborne and Demon's Souls is still better.
Dude,
Facts.
Bloodborne, nothing beats Bloodborne. We've gone over this. Bloodborne is the GOAT of FromSoft. But to Elden Ring's point, I think that the music does give the high fantasy, epic feeling of defeating a god. Well, I mean, obviously, bro, we're Bloodborne simps. What do you mean? You gotta play Sekiro. That's what you gotta play. You damn weeb. What's wrong with you?
Sekiro is really great.
Two more points, and then we can actually get started with the podcast proper. With Melania, I think like literally, even though a lot of her moveset, aside from Waterfowl Dance, I find bullshit. I think if you remove Waterfowl Dance in its entirety, I would have no issue with that boss fight. It would be like, yes, I hate most of the things that she's able to do, but if you remove that one thing, I would find her manageable. Like there's times when she, because there's some times where she doesn't even use that ability. If you're able to like stagger her enough and just like keep attacking her to the point where she can't use it. So there's times where she hasn't been able to use it when I fought her, but then like the moment that she actually goes up to do it, it's just like a one-hit kill and I'm done. So I feel like if you were able to remove that boss fight would be fine for me, because again, I've gotten her to her second phase. I've gotten her to like 25% health on her second phase, and then she uses that ability, and then it's like fuck, everything is fucked. So yeah, that's my one thing with her. Like, it's just that one ability, man, that it's just like, that's the thing that's sending me over the edge. And then the last thing I'll say is that I feel like this game would be, with the bosses specifically, they needed to add a stamina bar for the bosses, or all enemies in general. They needed to have a stamina bar, and that you could be able to see it, just like in Neo, where you could see both the bosses and regular enemies' health and stamina, so that they can't just fire off these attacks one after the other forever without having to worry about stamina, right? That there is an actual, just like there is an actual consequence for the amount of times that they're using all these abilities and stuff like that, and there's a cooldown for them and whatnot. They actually have to chill. They can't just do these things forever. And that's like when okay, it's time for me to go and attack. And I think that there may be something similar like that in Sekiro. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Dude, the way you keep describing every FromSoft game and every game in the last 2 months makes me think that you're gonna love Sekiro. Because Sekiro has everything that you like are describing. It does have not a stamina bar, it's a posture bar, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It basically means how much that person still has until they're just down on their knees. Right, and you also see their health bar. So
yeah. Dude, play that game.
Play that game. Bro.
So I just feel like, and it's weird, man. Like, why they wouldn't? I mean, I guess because this is more Dark Souls than
it's
Sekiro.
just Dark Souls 4. It's just Dark Souls 4.
5 and 6. But yeah, like I feel like a lot of my issues would be remedied if these enemies and bosses had a stamina bar. I fucking implore them to implement that in their next game. Like, dear God, please.
Yeah, I think so. I think their next, bro. We've had enough Dark Souls. Let's go back. Put a stamina bar in Bloodborne or give us another Sekiro. I don't care. Just do something else. Just do something else.
Yeah, man. That's
sir.
my little Elden Ring update. I truthfully, I don't know if I want to go back to it. Like I saw this.
And don't. Just
yeah.
wait for it until you're ready to go back at the end
Yeah.
of the year or something, and then do that.
Finish off
Because
those
at that
last 3 bosses, yeah.
yeah, because at
You're
that
gonna hate
at
it
that,
if you force
yeah.
yourself. That's
Yeah.
what happened with me in Horizon. I was forcing myself to play it, and I was not having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just do that. Just don't play it and play something else. Because I'll tell you right now, those last bosses are you're gonna be like, man, why the fuck am I doing this? I don't want to play this, and then like you're just keep getting your ass whooped, and then you're just gonna hate the game. Just
Yeah,
let it go.
just play some Destruction All Stars or something.
You know what? I will.
Yeah, all right. I'll treat myself.
like literally after it was like what's that SpongeBob meme? It was like for Melania it was like 42 hours later.
Oh yeah.
For me, and like literally like I got to a point last night where it's like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna drive to the movie theater and watch a movie. I need to chill the fuck out right now because I'm about to do something violent, man.
Break that $70 controller.
Yeah,
But
man.
Aside from her mechanics, what do you think of like the music and her design as a boss?
So I muted my TV. I got to a point. I forgot
wow.
I forgot what attempt it was. But I was just like, you know what? I don't need to hear anything right now. I just.
She keeps. Oh damn! It got to that. That's what happened in Returnal, dude. It gets to the point where, what did she say? I am Millennia.
Yes, every fucking time, man. I was just like, no, I don't need to hear it anymore. I don't need to hear it.
And
So,
it sucks because the next line she says for the second phase is, "And you will know true horror," and that just
Yeah.
sticks in your mind.
Yeah, I
Man,
heard that
I'm
too.
never gonna beat you. I'm never gonna beat you.
Yeah,
It sucks.
so I didn't need to hear that anymore. So yeah, I just shut it off. But yeah, man. That's yeah, I don't know if I'm playing it again anytime soon. To be honest.
Well, give it. If you need to give it a year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years, just play Sekiro at this point.
I mean,
I want you to play Sekiro.
the best argument for that too, Soul, is that we won't get another FromSoft game for like another couple of years. So you got time.
I don't think so. They're working on one though.
Well, there was that leak that Armored Core is coming out in 2023. So,
Oh, I ain't playing that shit.
and then there's
Oh,
Elden Ring,
then-
there's Elden Ring DLC as well. So.
It ain't all about you, macho. You want another game? We're getting one. Oh, it's not the one I wanted. Shut up.
But-
You're getting a game.
I got enough Final Fantasy games to play, so I'll be all
There
right.
you go. Yeah. Why do you want another FromSoft? You're just gonna play Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, you're right. Actually,
We want more games. You're the guy that's like, we're not getting any games this year. Continues to play Final Fantasy 14 for the 100th time.
what, dude? You're an idiot. Get off of Twitter.
But yeah, man,
yeah.
that's Elden Ring. Yeah.
Good shit, man.
We'll
Play
talk about this
Sekiro,
at the end
please.
of the year more. Where I mean, if you want to have an Elden Ring spoiler cast, we could definitely do that too.
Yeah. We'll watch
Which-
Pasividia's videos.
We talked
makes
about
me
this for
sad.
like at least an hour, so we might as well.
Which makes me sad, man, because like I did Ronnie's quest, which is also another thing that like I don't know about you guys, but this was like the From
Ronnie?
Software game that like I had never done like side quests in like the other games. Like
Interesting.
I would maybe like stumble upon them and maybe do like only half of them, but I would stick to the main path for all of those games. This is the one game that I literally did like I want to say like 75% of like side characters. And then like
Wow.
I did Ronnie's quest. I did all her quests, and I was really looking forward to her ending. But I won't get to see that.
Dude,
So.
then you did a lot. You did a lot of stuff. Oh, no. Oh, my God. So then leave. Okay, don't play it for a minute. When you get back to it, there's a whole underground section. There's another bot. Okay, there's more stuff. Okay, leave it. Leave it for later. Get back, go to your mind, go to the temples, go to a mountain, meditate.
I did like, well, unless there's one that I don't know about, but I'm pretty sure I did like all the underground stuff.
What
Like,
was
I
the
did-
last thing you did underground?
Like I did like the Ainzel River, I did the Deep Root Depths, I did the Nokron Eternal City stuff.
Who did you fight?
You did a lot more than I did, that's for sure.
Well, tell me what boss you're talking about, and I'll tell you if I beat him or not.
I
forgot his name. He's a star. He's like a serpent. Like a bug, like a big bug.
Estelle,
Estelle.
Natural Born. Yeah,
Yeah.
I beat him.
Oh, dude, it's right there. Her thing ends like right after that.
Yeah. That's what that's what I just said. I did her
Why are you
course
saying I didn't even finish it?
because I didn't. I mean, I didn't beat like the main campaign.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I saw the last thing I have to do with Ronnie is like literally, she shows up literally once you become like Elden Lord or whatever, right? And
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, the moon. And
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't like, I haven't completed it like all the way through. I guess what I'm saying. But yeah, that's it for that. Let's move into the podcast and talk about some of these topics, man. Guys, there is a Black Panther game in development, apparently.
Yeah.
So some facts or some details in case you don't know, in case you're living under a rock. The project is titled Project Rainier, developed by the new studio headlined by ex-Monolith VP Kevin Stevens, and the game is being published by EA, so take that as you will.
Hey man, they made Star Wars Fallen Order. That's a great game. You didn't play it, right?
I mean, they published it,
but
Respawn made it.
But I was saying one game in the last, like, I don't know. Anyway,
Decade?
it is an open world single player game where the player becomes the new Black Panther, and of course it is early in development. Are you guys down for a Black Panther? Well, number one, are you guys down for a Black Panther game? And number two, who is your like dream studio to work on a Black Panther game?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Oh man, as far as Dream Studio, I have no idea because we're still talking about the banner under EA, right?
I mean, it could be anyone.
And it can be any genre. Doesn't have to be open world.
Well, don't let it be DICE. Let's see. I don't know about studio, but the thing is, I do want a Black Panther game. And Avengers was like, they kind of have a really good blueprint. I don't know, they're really good on the combos and the actual like flair of Black Panther's combos. And then if I'm thinking about more about like his fighting style and like how fluid and fun it can feel, then I'm thinking of Marvel's Capcom Infinite, where Black Panther's actually a character in that game, and he was just so much fun. He was incredible in that game. And when I think about Black Panther specifically, like his own game, I'm thinking stealth action narrative.
Right. Oh, then Ubisoft.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Splinter Cell.
No. Oh, man. But yeah, I mean, either way, I think a Black Panther game is way overdue. So I'm excited for that.
I think I would. Black Panther, I feel, is in the same category as, not as a Spider-Man in terms of like the type of game it can be. I think Insomniac, the way that they're approaching Wolverine, being a more mature game, more story-driven game, I think that's the way to go with Black Panther, because you can dive more into the politics of Wakanda, make it more of a family matter, make it. That's why Black Panther, the movie, was so good. Most of the conflict, although very beautiful and flashy, all the fights and whatnot, it was all about the intricacies of the villain and the back and forth between him and T'Challa, So I think that an Insomniac would be pretty dope to make Black Panther, but not. I don't think an open world. I think a more like a open zone, maybe. I don't know, or like just a story driven, like a Last of Us kind of thing, where you have certain sections where they are open, but the game is not open world. Because I don't know how to treat. I don't know how would you go about an open world Black Panther.
Isn't open world just a rumor though?
I mean, going by the rumor, I wouldn't want an open world. I like a more story-driven, and you evolve as the Black Panther or whatever the case may be for that.
Right. That's why open world doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, especially for something like this, for like a superhero.
I mean, wouldn't you want to, if it entirely takes place in Wakanda, wouldn't you want to like explore that at your leisure?
But that wouldn't be open world though. It'd be open zone.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, how big is Wakanda? Isn't it like an entire country?
It's a nation.
True.
It's a whole nation.
True.
Yeah.
True,
but that's the thing. If
I don't know, because
when it only there.
When I'm thinking open world, like it's either like Spider-Man, right, where you're just jumping from building to building. I'm like, oh, my Black Panther, I'm just gonna be running from like village to village. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sure.
Or be like Garo,
an
or
Avatar
like
situation.
or like Garo. I'm just slowly walking to the next village and looking for signposts and shit like that. Like, that's why I'm like, open worlds for Black Panther sounds really weird. Like open zone sounds like way more specific
Right, but
and
here's
like
the thing.
intimate. But
You just said that with The Witcher and whatnot, and some executive hears you, and he's gonna be like, exactly. That's exactly what we need. Like, it makes sense to make a
Yeah.
Black Panther where instead of a New York for Spider-Man, it's a Wakanda. It's the villages. It's But here's the thing: do we only want to make the story in Wakanda? Don't we want to see him do missions in other places of the world?
And
In
also,
that case,
that's true too.
you know, make it like a
does it-
Darksiders.
does it does Black Panther actually like run like a panther at all, or did I just make that up?
You
No, he
definitely
runs
made that
fast.
shit.
But he doesn't.
But he runs fast, right?
He's he's not an anamorph, man. He's an actual guy in a suit.
No, yeah, he's not Vixen from DC. That
Yeah.
turns into actual animals.
Okay, but where I was going was that like he does run fast though. So
Yeah,
so,
and Endgame
like,
he runs super fast.
Yeah, so it could be fun, just like running super fast, like on just open plains and shit like that. I don't know.
Maybe,
In that
maybe.
case, you can
Then you're running into Forspoken, where you're just
Yeah.
gliding. across everywhere.
Oh.
Yeah, but,
then
at least with Forspoken, you can do little twirls and shit like that.
True. Yeah.
Who's to say you can't upgrade Black Panther to be more flashy? You know.
Or the run like a panther.
I mean, listen, man.
You just want to see that man on all fours, just to be clear. It's-
Whoa!
This is the second time you mentioned that already. I'm just saying.
Hey, yo, brother.
Jesus.
Hey, brother.
That's what you're gonna say. What were you gonna say?
Hey, brother. What the hell? Where are we? What is even happening? No, what I was saying is that to make because if the logic is, he can run fast, you can make him like go from village to, because there's like a lot of villages, was it like 5 tribes? Then you can make a Captain America game because he can just run. Because in Infinity War,
Yeah.
we can see them both just sprint towards the Chitauri or whatever. So like, I don't know, with Black Panther, he has shown to be very agile, very nimble. And Winter Soldier, no, Civil War, when he's fighting the Winter Soldier, you can see him like, leap from wall to wall. Then if anything, you can make it like as small or as big as like a Dishonored, where it's like a set level where you can improvise stealth and do certain things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They just can't assume that people watch the movies are also going to play the game. So
Yeah.
it's a matter of reintroducing everything too, which is why I think it's important to have Wakanda like such a focal point of all that stuff too, along with him being a hero. But the thing is too, the story apparently is like the players can take on the mantle of Black Panther.
Yeah.
Right. And not T'Challa, just Black Panther. Black Panther
Right.
can be the one in succession. Maybe they can do another version. Maybe
Right.
they do a Killmonger. I don't know, or a Shuri.
It's gonna be really tricky.
It is, and I think this is not the moment to start thinking about doing a Black Panther game specifically, because there's going to be a lot of conflict with people being like, oh, like, who is it going to be? Like, oh, we don't. And if it's not a Black Panther that people recognize, is it going to sell well? And I think a good blueprint for companies to see and look at when they make a property video game, like a Marvel or Star Wars. Look at Marvel's Avengers. Just because it's recognized doesn't mean people are going to love it. Some people will. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be the phenomenon that you think it's going to be. So I think this is something that you give to people like an Insomniac that is very, very precise with their storytelling and world building. And hey, who's to say we don't get a game CU, a GCU, or what was it, a Marvel game universe, an MGU? I don't know. Do something like that.
Yeah. Perhaps. I don't know who my dream studio would be. I'm gonna be honest. When I thought of that question, I didn't think of an answer. So,
well, thanks for giving us a question none of us can answer.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm curious at the very least to see what this thing is, but
Right.
It's EA, so
All I know is that the music has to be fucking fire.
Yeah.
The music has to slap.
and it has to be a respectfully done game, because there's a lot of culture when you set foot in Wakanda that has to be done tastefully.
Well,
So I
don't
hope
give it
that
a
they
3-4-3 then. Oop, did I say that loud?
Oop.
Did I say that loud?
Oop.
Oops, my bad.
And I oop.
Stop.
And I oop.
But yeah, man, we'll see how EA handles that.
This
man
man chose violence today. Yeah, man, we'll
how
see.
they
We'll see.
handle it. But yes, sir. So that is Black.
Hey,
Whoa.
come on, man.
God damn.
Don't give
What
this
is
game a
wrong
soul.
with you? Don't give this a soul.
Black Panther. God damn. Yes.
This man's thinking like an executive already.
Let's move on to Star Wars: Knights of the Old Republic.
I'm sure this got everybody in the tizzy.
Yeah, I'm gonna need y'all to talk me off the edge, man, because I'm about to jump. Because guys,
right?
I'm worried, man. I'm worried.
This is gonna be your one RPG too, man.
I know, man, and I actually really like this game too, man. But yeah, so essentially, this game was just announced way too early. I don't know if you guys have like any like the details in like the specifics in mind, but the only thing that I read about this was that both Sony and Lucasfilm saw a vertical slice or whatever, and that they were unimpressed by it, and 2 directors were fired, and that's basically what I know about this. Does anyone have any other details?
So it's not official, but it was a report by Jason Schreier, which
By Bloomberg, yeah.
I mean, so there is some credibility behind it. I mean, I have the article here. I can like skim the first a remake.
Yeah, what are the other details? Because I just sent that one bit to you guys. I was like, wow, they told them to get the F out of there, dude.
So
crazy.
What happened was Asper abruptly fired the game's art director and design director this month. In a series of meetings throughout July, Asper's 2 studio heads told employees that the project is on pause and that the company will look for new contracts and development opportunities. Said the people.
Yeah, we probably should have said that to open it up. That Knights of the Old Republic remake by Aspyr has been indefinitely delayed. Apparently so bad that they are looking for other projects right now to do.
Yeah. So the following week, the company fired design director Brad Prince and art director Jason Miner.
Well, you don't have to put them on blast. Then.
Hey man, Jason already did. Neither responded to requests for comment. So yeah, we don't know what happened. But like Macho said, I imagine the pitch meeting. Okay, so this is nope. Get out. Get out.
Yeah, that's really bad. If like they show you a vertical slice and they're so unimpressed that they just got booted. Like that's. It must have been like really bad or like really not in the vision that they were hoping for, or at least in the place that they wanted it to be, for them to fire directors.
Yeah, I do feel this is the opposite of what happened with Netflix and Avatar: The Last Airbender, where the creators were like, we don't see eye to eye, we're just gonna leave. In this one, it was, we don't see eye to eye, get the hell out.
Yeah, pretty much. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's the indefinitely part that sucks, because you just know that you're right, Soul. It was announced way too early, way too soon. This goes back to the point I made a couple of podcasts ago, that sometimes you really need a trailer. You need something to show. You don't gas us up like years prior.
Well, here's the thing is that like for like announcement trailers, I'm not expecting what God of War did in 2016, where at E3 2016 they gave you like a goddamn like 8-minute gameplay demo. Like that's a rarity. Mm-hmm. But with like announcement trailers, like I'm okay with like even CGI quick 1-minute trailers or just little quick teaser trailers, because again you're announcing the game. So with Knights of the Old Republic, like I was okay with that little teaser, but. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the big thing is that with Aspyr specifically, the thing with them is that they were a sort of porthouse studio. They haven't, at least to my knowledge, they haven't really worked on a big major game like themselves. They've been primarily just a team that has ported other people's games to other platforms.
Right.
But doing a good job of it, I will say. Well,
Yeah,
mostly,
it's like
because Knights of the Republic 2 was kind of in a bit of a funk. But
Right.
Right.
So where I'm going with this is that, like, which is totally fair by them. They probably wanted to get out of that rut at some point. Like, I would imagine every studio that's in that position would want to, right? Like that Sony VASG, they wanted to, do their own shit, with Uncharted, or they wanted to impress Sony by doing the Last of Us remake, and then Sony was like, nah, we're giving that, Naughty Dog is going to take that now. So I imagine it's something like that here with them, that they wanted to get out of that rut. They wanted to do something on their own. They wanted to kind of spread their wings a little bit, and I think they may have bit off a little more than they could chew with this. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic is a fucking big game. To try to modernize that old ass, dusty ass gameplay into the modern age.
It is quite dusty. I booted it up for like 10-15 minutes. I'm like, oh man, this is definitely old gameplay.
That gameplay is rough, man. It's rough.
I still want to play it though, but yeah, it's definitely on the rough side.
Yeah, it's a great game, but yeah, to try to modernize that, like, it is a remake in the truest sense, man. You are literally going to have to pull out everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would imagine that to do for a first time studio to undertake, like, for your first major project on your own, to be something of that magnitude, hell yeah, there's gonna be problems, man.
Yeah.
And it's not only old, it's Star Wars. So you're working with a fandom that is very passionate, very vocal.
Not even just the fandom; it's just the expectations of a Star Wars. It's like,
yeah, but
it's for some. Yeah, Star Wars is always through the roof when it comes to expectations, and then
and the reactions are not very good. Have we seen the last 5 to 6 years of the sequels? Whilst people, may differ in how they came out in quality, but they were very passionate, to not say another word.
I mean, I see the reception for even Obi-Wan, where just a lot of people just didn't like it. I really liked it. I liked what I watched, but there's definitely its criticisms, and some Star Wars fans just completely write it off.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Star Wars is like in a really weird place, but that's why Jedi Fallen Order was like such a great breakthrough for that franchise, just in games in general. And I was kind of hoping the same as KOTOR remake, but it seems like it's even worse state.
Yeah, and in that case, it was Respawn. Respawn, at the very least, had, they didn't have a history of like just ports. They had actual games that they had built. In this case, maybe they just like Soul said, they bit off more than they can chew.
I would say to hand it off to the original developer, which was BioWare, but BioWare's got their hands full, a little bit full right now. So
a little bit,
yeah, just a little bit.
I don't know. Are they just doing the Mass Effect game?
I mean, they're doing both Mass Effect and Dragon Age.
Oh, then yeah.
Yeah, they're doing the 4. They're doing the big sequel.
Yeah, then they're absolutely busy. There's no way they can work on this.
And Anthem, man, no, that's gone. That's it.
Yeah. So, So I mean, this. So, do you guys think that this game is in how do I say this, in trouble, or that it's an impossibility of it being canceled, or just like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, do you think we will ever see this game? That this game will see the light of day eventually?
There's two routes that I see this going. This is not going to be this generation. This is a next generation game. This is not PS5, Series X.
Jesus Christ.
This is not for this generation. The other side, this is a scalebound situation. And it's just gone. One of the two. But we're not seeing this for PS5 or Series X.
I mean, I disagree. I think we're going to see it. It's just, there has to be a blueprint there. They've been working on it right since like they announced it.
I mean,
even before then. Even before then.
Yeah, because they've been working on it for 3 years apparently already.
Yeah.
And they fired their art director. Like that. Who's to say that when the new art director comes on board, there's not going to be any differences? Like my thing is assuming that the next people they get on board, there's more creative differences. The more creative differences, the more this is gonna backpile and pile up in the back, and we're gonna have to dust that up in the future. But I do think that this is gonna be like near the end or the beginning, like of the new cycle of consoles, or the end of this cycle.
Yeah, that I do agree with, but like I don't think it's going to be canceled though. It's
No,
they want to avoid the whole with that other Star Wars game that's going to come out that's like the Bounty Hunters 1313 Star Wars 1313. They want to avoid like that whole situation too.
Like a cancel, right?
It's because like again it's Knights of the Old Republic, like that's like one of the stuff they want to come back. It's been people been claiming for years. So I think the last thing that PlayStation and whoever was like collaborating on this one wanted to be canceled. Lucasfilm, yeah, that's the last thing they want.
Yeah. I think we do see this eventually, but yeah, as you guys kind of alluded to, it's not going to be for a while, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they are looking for other projects in the meantime is just insane to me.
Yeah, like I'd say we see GTA 6 first. Than this.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. No, I'm really to see like what they're gonna do, because I don't know if it seems like it's gonna be more of a reimagining and not even like a hardcore RPG. It seems like it might just be like a linear thing if they're gonna, if they want it out by 2025, unless those devs crunch real hard. We'll see. I mean, we'll see at the end of the day how it really goes by. But I don't know, man. This so far that doesn't sound like great at all, man. They're looking for other stuff to do.
I don't feel so good.
Yeah, I mean,
about this.
But
yeah.
In the meantime, I'll just play the old one because I still have it on my Switch. I haven't played it yet, so.
Yeah, I've never played that game. That's why, like, this remake, like, it gave me hope to, like, oh, maybe I don't even have to play the old one. I'll just wait for this one. Well, tough luck.
Yeah.
Tough luck.
Yeah, it's a great game, man. That game, Jet Set Radio and Halo were like the games that I played on Xbox when I was a kid back in the day.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Someone...
Yeah, man. That makes me sad, man. I guess we can have like a wider discussion on whether, and I don't even know if this game was announced too soon, because there was a thing that they were saying that this game was going to come out in 2022. So, which is nuts. But yeah, I guess this does kind of tie into a conversation of like, when is like the sweet spot for you guys in terms of like when games get announced? Because I think the one thing that we can say for certain is that like this game probably shouldn't have been announced when it was, because I mean it's not like all these problems only happened within this last year. Like, if they've been working on it for 3 years, it's obvious to me at least, or I would think that they've been having issues for a really long time. So like, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is like, what is the sweet spot for you guys in terms of like when games get announced? Because I think for me, it's how God of War and Spider-Man 2018 handled it, where they were both announced 2 years in advance. So like 2 years is the window for me. Anything beyond that, I start to get a little like, not like, I guess like antsy, but like just like, okay, like I want to play the game now. Like I'm tired of seeing it. Like almost Last of Us Part 2. Like, yes, it was exciting seeing that announced all the way back in 2016, but it was like, damn, like we had to see that game for 4 years before it came out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So like, yeah, what is like, what do you? I don't know. Like, what's your like kind of? What is the thing you're looking for when a game is announced? Like, is it 2 years or 3 years, or because even Final Fantasy, like Macho, like, do you get excited knowing that Final Fantasy VII Remake was announced in 2015, but you had to wait 5 years for it? Like, what is it for you?
Oh man, I got even a worse one for you. Having Final Fantasy Versus 13 announced in 2006, having that shit change in like 2013, 2014, and not getting the game until 2015. So yeah, I've been to the
That
ringer.
was hype, but that was hype though.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. This shit was hype, man. But yeah, I'm in the same boat with you. It's like we get the like reveal trailer, whether it's a CG or it's actually showing some gameplay, right? That's like it gets us really hyped, or at least a nice vertical slice, and then you actually get the game more or less like 2 to 3 years out. I feel like that's a good sweet spot for me. Because like I'm the same way with you, and we had a couple of announcements from Annapurna where some of the games are not coming out until like 2025 or something like that.
Whoa, really?
I think one of them was the one I sent in the chat. I think it's the Jurassic World, or not Jurassic World, the dinosaur survival game.
Yeah, the Lost Wild.
Yeah, it's like 2024, 2025 or something like that. And I was like, oh god, that's fucking ever. Like it's forever, dude.
24.
24. Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, again, that's a sweet spot for me, really. Like I just want to get excited for it, that I can play it soon, and that's why I got really hyped for what was it, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because I knew we were gonna get like a trailer of that, but I figured that we wouldn't be getting that game until another 3 years. For them to say like, winter 2023 or whatever, and I was like, yo, okay, now I can get like really hyped for this. That's cool. So
Yeah. I
What
think
about you, Walt?
I think it depends on the type of announcement and who is announcing it. For me, also I'm a bit grim, but I think that getting announced a game, 5-6 years down the line, that is like 5 or 6 years down the line. I've talked about how that's not the ideal way to do it because you're setting expectations, but that's me talking for everyone else, putting words on people's mouth. But for me, sometimes if you tell me like you show me a CG trailer and that game is 5 years away, and I say grim because I'm like, oh man, 5 years. Oh man, I hope I'm alive and kicking in 5 years. I got something to look forward to. Oh man, that game is gonna be so cool. Like it's a thing of hope and a thing of looking forward to in the future. Where now in my mind, I'm like, okay, 2025. It's Last of Us Part 3. Oh sweet, I can't wait. Like, and it'll give me hope until then. And from now until then, I can look forward to something. But I think the sweet spot for a gameplay trailer, something that showcases actual gameplay, even if down, on the bottom screen says, work still in progress. I think 2 years, that's like a very good, I'd say even 3 years, just as like margin of error, just in case any, unpredictable situations happen. If there's anything the pandemic taught me is that shit can happen and it'll hit the fan real quick. But I think a game that did get announced and I never fell off the excitement for it was the sequel for Breath of the Wild, because it had that little trailer years back, and then you had the director saying, hey, we're gonna have to delay it. I didn't feel sadness at the delay. I was like, okay, no, I mean this still exists. I'm still on it. We're still on it. The one game that I always hear people talk about and how they had to wait so long, but I don't think there was an official announcement. It was just a teaser of a possible sequel. Was Kingdom Hearts 1 to 2 or Kingdom Hearts 2 to 3?
that was 2 to 3.
2 to 3, where there was like 10 years or something, where
Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2006, and 3 came out 2019.
okay, so like more than 10 years, like almost. I mean, that's insane.
There was that teaser in E3 2013, right? The same one that they had where they showed Final Fantasy 15 for the first time.
Yep.
Right, and it's very few and far between. But I think Kingdom Hearts 3, Final Fantasy versus, these are the types of games that you start doubting if they even do exist. Like with Elden Ring, like people started to say, like, is Elden Ring even real? Jeff Keighley was in gamer jail. Like we were all demanding, like, what's going on? Like, does it even exist? Because we only got that one CG trailer, and that was it. And they went dark for like 2 years or something. But I think my sweet spot is like 2 years. Let's say 2 years and a half. That's like to average it. But it very much depends. If Bethesda's like, hey, we're working on a sci-fi game, it's got Starfield as our next big project. It's taken them forever, but they're still pumping out games. You know, that's also a matter of, is the company doing other games? Is this the only thing they're working on? You know, a matter of factors. But yeah, 2 years and a half. I'd say that's my
See,
that's my sweet spot.
I think they're like a prime example of like a company like how not to do it
Mm-hmm.
because Starfield was announced technically back in 2018. The same year that Elder Scrolls fucking 6 was announced. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and in Starfield's case, we're not getting that game 5 years later, until 5 years later.
Mm-hmm.
God knows when we're getting Elder Scrolls 6. So like to me that's like that's too much. You know,
Yeah.
I hate that specifically, like announcing shit that is clearly like you're like you haven't like this isn't even a game yet, you know?
Yeah.
Um yeah, that's kind of my thing.
Yeah, that
Um
that was my impression when I saw Sonic Frontiers, the gameplay. I was like, are they joking? Like this looks like a tech demo. Like why are they showcasing this when it's like, you know, like Sega, what's going on? Uh, but then at that point, that's a different ball game because then they tell you, oh, it's coming soon, and then you're like, yikes, it doesn't look polished at all. It looks like this, it looks like that. So it changes the feeling. So it's a very case by case situation. But of like, you know, Naughty Dog today announces, oh, you know, we're doing, you know, our next title is called this, and here's some concept art because that's the new trend, y'all. Now it's concept art. Now it's not. It's there's no trailers, no CG, there's no title screen. No, this is some concept art we're working on, and it's like, I don't. That part I still don't get. I don't get the hype for concept art. I appreciate it, but I don't know why that became a thing. You know.
I think PlayStation overall has been a lot better. Like
Right.
just thinking about their first PS5 showcase in June 2020, like looking at things like and don't laugh, okay? But like Destruction All Stars, Sackboy, Returnal,
Hey,
Ratchet,
don't laugh.
like all those things were out. Of Spider-Man, Demon Souls, like all those things were out like literally
Mm-hmm.
like that year. Like within the first like year of PS5. Um,
Right.
and then even things like Kana and Solar Ash, like, still 2021. Horizon, was at the most like 2 years, and GT7 as well. Um, so I think overall, like my impression is like they definitely don't do the Last Guardian thing anymore, or I don't think the last. Maybe Naughty Dog's the exception, but like the Last of Us Part Two thing of like announcing something that's 4 years away. Like I feel like we haven't really gotten a lot of that from them specifically, recently, which is something in this new regime that I really really appreciate. That it seems like things are being announced 1 year, maybe 2 years away at most.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Which I love, honestly,
Yeah,
because again we had like that romance. It reminds me a lot of MCU the way they do their things actually, how they
The
break things up
roadmaps.
into phases. And
Mm.
here's a project to look forward to for the next couple years that we're working on. And then so when you get the Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then you have Black Panther 2, and then also the same thing with Sony they did where it's like here you can look forward to Horizon, Gran Turismo. We also got God of War in development, and then Spider, and then the last showcase we got where we got the KOTOR remake, Spider-Man 2, like all that stuff we could look forward to like next year except for KOTOR, but um,
yeah.
but Spider-Man 2 is like one, it's been really quiet, so we're expecting something soon on that at least, if they do
Yeah.
plan to stick to that 2023 release.
Yeah, for sure. And it is kind of like exciting because like most of those things that were showed off in those showcases, they're already out or they are about to come out. So like it is exciting to think about like, okay, now the next showcase we show like, okay, let's show like what's coming on the horizon for like the next 1 or 2 years or whatever. So like it makes it feel like things are a lot closer than they really are, right? They're not super far out in the horizon, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited for
Um,
God of War Ragnarok, because not only does that mean we're getting supposedly, I mean, I have hopes it's going to be like in a great game, even better than the 2018 version, but we're getting that at the end of the year, and we might be getting a showcase soon on what PlayStation's going to be doing for the next couple of years. So
yeah.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. God of War 2018 was alright. It wasn't. I think it's overhyped. It didn't deserve Game of the Year or anything.
Um,
you're not funny,
but
Will.
Um,
As I'm
Yeah,
playing
so-
it.
got a last thing, or one of the last things, but last major topic, I guess, that we can talk about is Grand Theft Auto 6. Um, so again, I might need someone's help on this, but I think this is Bloomberg as well. They
It's
kind
on
of
fire this week.
broke details on this project. So one of the major things, I guess like like the major thing about this article was detailing Rockstar's improved sort of like workplace culture. Um, that things are definitely getting a lot better there.
Yeah,
which
the
is
frat boy
great.
culture. They're cleaning up the frat boy culture, as they mentioned.
Employees were saying that like yeah, like development on this game may take longer than anticipated, but it's worth it because everyone is still getting acclimated and are adjusting to sort of like the new quote unquote Rockstar.
Which is
So
really
yeah,
good.
that's
Really good.
yeah,
news.
that's good.
Sounds great.
Aside from that, yeah, we got a little bit of info on GTA 6. We do know that it is indeed taking place in Vice City. That it is kind of being inspired by a Bonnie and Clyde sort of kind of deal with the main characters.
Yeah.
One of the leads is a female protagonist, and
First time ever?
surprise, surprise, um, the usual suspects, the people, the all lives matter people, had problems with this. They had problems with this.
Is it too woke? Too woke? What?
Oh man.
So
If I had a quarter
yeah,
for every
man.
time I read that term this week, I'll be fucking
So-
rich, dude.
My 2 cents on this, and this is the only thing that I'll say on this, is that these people not pay attention to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? Did they not pay attention to the Ballad of Gay Tony? Who did you play as in that DLC?
What a throwback! Holy hell,
Who
bro!
did-
I
who
haven't
did you-
heard that title in a minute.
Who did you play as in San Andreas? Who did you play as in GTA 4? You know, you're playing a goddamn Russian, right? So like, this whole idea of them being quote unquote woke or whatever, like you have been playing as a variety of different people from variety of walks of life in this series since its inception, basically. So this
Yeah.
idea of them going woke or whatever just doesn't hold any water for me, right? So
Yeah.
it's I don't know, it's just ironic, you know, they're having a blast playing as CJ in San Andreas, but oh heaven forbid we play female, you know, and then it's just like it's too much for them, you know.
And a Latina at that, so it's immediately going to be
baby.
a better game than in the previous GTA game.
Yes, sir.
So
So yeah, man. So how is everyone feeling about GTA 6 with this information coming out?
more hopeful, that's for sure. More
Muy caliente! Ay ay ay!
because it's especially since I'm not like the biggest GTA guy, like by a long shot. The only Rockstar game I actually completed and loved was Red Dead Redemption and RDR2 to an extent.
What a nerd.
And Bully, I played a bit of Bully. I never finished it, but I really liked Bully too. But
Really good.
but other than that, yeah, the Grand Theft Auto games never really like attracted me. It was mostly like one of those games where I would go over to a cousin's house, we'll boot it up, and just shoot the shit. Really, just like get as much
Literally.
cops, literally get as much cop stars as we can, in a
Hey,
run
yo.
and listen to that stupid radio that would go on all the time. Yeah, it was just whatever it is. It was mostly Vice City that I played in GTA 3. I never really
Oh,
played San
God.
Andreas.
Yeah.
And even when I got the collection on PS2, it was actually a GTA trilogy collection on PS2 that I actually picked up, and I tried to play through them. I just couldn't finish them because I just got bored. So I'm never big of a GTA guy, and even trying GTA 5 multiple times and replaying it multiple times, I just could never finish it because I just got bored. So I'm really hoping that this one it actually what's the word? What's the term that still uses? Sinks his teeth into me.
Yeah.
I hope that it does it for this one, especially with the Latina protagonist. I think that's really cool. So,
Sir.
yeah, there's a couple other things that actually had me interested just to try it out too. Now that the news is out, but I don't know. I guess we can get to the other other stuff about this report a little later. But Walt, what do you think?
I am very intrigued. I can actually like expect something different because first ever female protagonist. If we're gonna having a duel, I hope they don't go the route that Ubisoft did. That they do the Bonnie and Clyde thing, but then the other person's a dude, and then they just market more of the dude. I hope they either do both, or if they're gonna do one, they do her. I want to see more. Here's the thing with this game, it's not even about the aspect of gameplay, because I know gameplay. Rockstar is solid in gameplay. They have that like down.
Are they?
My big, I think so. I think that they're solid in gameplay. I leave Red Dead Redemption 2. It was a fun game to play. I had a blast playing it. If they can improve, they can. They have room to improve, but I think they have an idea what they're doing. It's gonna be a third person, open world game. We know that much. They're gonna do the thing where they're gonna be releasing more sections of the world as time goes by. I think that was like to reduce crunch. So they're only releasing the game with one area, but then they're gonna add on to that more and more. Because I heard a rumor or read a rumor where initially the big thing was they wanted to have two sections that represented one North America and one South America, like have two completely different regions, and then have the character like go back and forth. And to do something that ambitious, you need a lot of time, a lot of people, a lot of manpower. Which I think that's why they're doing then just one area. With being a Latina, couple things. Let's drop the BS ways that we talk. Like, I'm not throwing amigo here and there. I'm not throwing the what's up, amigo? Let's drop that. Let's get some actual people that know how Spanish works.
The stereotypes.
Yeah, let's drop the stereotypes. Let's drop this the very cringy, cabron. We don't say cabron every time. Like, if anything, a Puerto Rican does, but we're not gonna have a Puerto Rican problem.
It was real quick as a side point. So when I was actually watching Young Justice season 2, and I remember how you say oh yeah, Blue Beetle's kind of his dialogue is really cringy, stereotypical Hispanic.
Yeah,
I didn't remember until I actually saw rewatched. Exactly. I was like, yeah, this dude actually does do hermano, he does way too often. And I was like, dude,
too
all right.
Much.
But yeah, continue. Sorry.
It's mega cringy. No, you're good. I think we should have full-blown Spanish conversations at times. Put some subtitles down there. Let people read. Let's get some full-on conversations in Spanish.
Would Far Cry 6 be an example? You played this.
I have. Yeah, Far Cry 6, I do think that it does have longer form Spanish phrases. It still does have sometimes that, the occasional drop of Spanish while speaking English in a way that doesn't feel natural. But it does it better than previous games. I think that a game that does it beautifully is Miles Morales. And the way that they incorporate culture as well with the apartment, having all these knickknacks and all these things that represent Puerto Rico and black culture and all this, because, being half and half, and the mom being a Puerto Rican and her talking Spanish while she's cooking and it's actual genuine Spanish. So I hope that they do that. Whether we go in Colombian, Venezuelan, Peruvian, I don't care. Or just do the dialect justice,
Yeah.
I assume because, me assuming, if we're doing a Vice City, that's a Miami. Miami is predominantly Cuban. Maybe we're getting a Cuban protagonist, maybe half Cuban, half something else. I don't know. Maybe we go super crazy and we make both protagonists Latinos. Latina and Latino. Oh, whoa. That'd be too much for the audience. We're too much. I acknowledge that us Latinos, if we're having a Latina, y'all better be ready, because there's going to be a lot of aggressiveness, a lot of passive aggressiveness. We do that a lot. I grew up with two sisters, and that's been my life.
Just rubbing off on here. If you need a consultant, Rockstar, you know who to hit up.
Hey man, let me know. I'll bring both of them. I'll let them just talk their way out. You know. But yeah, man. I don't know, man. I'm excited. I just hope that they do the representation part like tastefully. Uh, it, especially being the first time, a woman Latina.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah,
if they can do cowboy simulation to the nth degree, I think they should be have blending in
yeah,
Latin culture
that's
pretty
true.
easily.
I do think they did like people like Lenny in RDR2. They did like people of color in that time where they were less accepted. I think they did it somewhat well. So, uh, and also indigenous people. What was his name in RDR2? Charles or something.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he was also a great character. Sadie, dude, Sadie was probably the best of the group, and she was a woman.
She is the
And
best of the group.
she is the greatest. So Rockstar
Besides
did.
Arthur Morgan, but like yeah, Sadie's like
That's the
the
goat.
best. Yeah.
But yeah, so Rockstar does have history of making good female like characters in their games and or representing minorities uh, to an extent. I think that the woke quote unquote part that people got upset about the usual suspects is that Rockstar said that they're gonna take out any like jokes that beat down on people.
No, no, not take out. They said they're gonna use less of.
Useless. Okay, pardon me. Decrease. They just turned it down a little bit. The air conditioner's still on, but it's not on full blast.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's the part where like, oh, can you take a joke? No, no. Listen, you can. I know a comedian that is a perfect example of making jokes and never bashing any type of marginalized group is Gabriel Iglesias, like Fluffy. I think Fluffy is a fantastic comedian, and he never like bashes on anyone. So it is possible. Satire and comedy is possible without bashing a group. Look at the boys. The boys doesn't do that.
Well, I first before we get into that, 'cause that's a whole conversation itself. So what do you think about a Latina protagonist
Ay ay ay.
and the first ever female protagonist for Grand Theft Auto?
I'm excited, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
mostly
sicko.
play. I mostly play like RPGs as females, anyway. So like, yeah, I'm always down for more. I mean, really,
do you
it's
feel a
not.
certain type of way if you always play women? Do you feel a certain type of way? Are you if you need to talk to us, you can talk to us, okay?
No, it's just like I'm bored of like seeing just like the same people like represented in in modern games. So like.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm always looking for like I don't know to like when I get the option to create my own character. That's why I always go like female shepherd or in Elden Ring or Bloodborne or Neo. I always create a woman or Cyberpunk. Why I went with female V. Um, yeah, I don't know.
I agree.
It's
No, I agree.
it's not like a big issue or a big deal to me or anything like that.
No, it's the same thing with me. Yeah, I never realized until Sammy brought up. She's like, "You mostly play as girls, like in the games." I was like, "Yeah, because they're cool."
I mean, you are a girl though.
I scream like one. Yes.
Yeah. No, and here's the thing.
No.
It's funny because I love it how we're changing the narrative. Because I mean, it should have been this the whole time, where people are like, "Oh, like you do this like a girl," and it's like, "Oh, you mean I'm a badass?" Like now it's like different, you know? Now it's like you punch like a girl, and it's like, "Oh shit, for real?" You just keep punching them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of the reasons why like I connected so much with 14 very quickly. Because a lot of the main characters, there's a lot of great female characters in Final Fantasy games, no doubt about that. But a lot of the main characters are male, and at that point, white male, give or take.
Right.
And so I had to.
baby. Ooh,
What happened?
Istola. Ooh.
Yeah, again, she's a side character, but the fact that I could make my own Final Fantasy 14 character not only be a female, right? I actually made her a woman, but I made her as a dark skinned woman. So I was like, yeah, like finally like a POC female protagonist in a Final Fantasy game. Like, this is what I wanted, and it's great. I love it. So I kind of love that we kind of get the same with Grand Theft Auto, which is one of the biggest gaming franchises in the world.
Yeah. It probably, arguably, I'd say it's like second only to Call of Duty. Like
Yeah.
it's a massive. I'd say GTA. Like everyone knows GTA. It's like Goku in anime. It's like you know what a Grand Theft Auto is. It doesn't matter when you played it. And it's either one of two things. Oh yeah, it's cool. Oh yeah, no, you're shooting. You shoot pedestrians and you're running over people. Oh, it's horrible. The kids, the violence. It's always those two sides of the coin.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I mean, that is that for Grand Theft Auto. When do
Well,
you
we
guys
still
think
we,
this is
we,
gonna?
we still got to talk a little bit about the jokes thing. I think
Oh, what about it?
it's just the fact that they're going to use less of it. I think the point I wanted to bring up at least is the fact that I'm glad that Rockstar is taking some form of responsibility in their influence here, or use culture influence for games, because a lot of people what they wanted to harp on was the fact that the whole fact of Grand Theft Auto is that it's a parody of reality. It's like a joke in itself, and people can't take that as a joke. Then why are they even playing the series? I feel like that's really irresponsible to say. Like, I get the whole theme and the meta of Grand Theft Auto, but at the same time, I feel like Rockstar being as big as they are and Grand Theft Auto being as big as it is, they need to have some form of responsibility to kind of what they put into their games, and not just the violence part of it, because at the end of the day, it's video games, but more or less the messaging and the tone that goes into all that stuff. And some arguments I feel like could be a little like too much, but there are other instances where I feel like it's really valid that to not punch down on marginalized groups. I feel like that's a valid take to have. Like there are just way more tasteful jokes to have when it comes to having some stereotypes or whatever the case may be and all that jazz. So, but yeah, well, did you want to say more on this too? Because I know you touched on it really quickly.
No. I think I said pretty much everything. I mean, I think it's possible. It's just possible. It just give it a shot. Give satire a shot without having to beat on people. Like there's no need to make one group feel a certain way for your own entertainment. I'm very much someone that enjoys jokes on both fronts. When done well. I think there's some like comedians and in some games that do certain satire or comedy in a certain way that I appreciate, but Rockstar, they had to go to the point where they had to take out certain lines from GTA 5 because they were that bad. So
Oh, really?
yeah, they had to
Damn.
take like like I think it was a trans joke or something, or it was something in GTA 5 story that they had to take out, or the DLC. So I mean, they're pretty self-aware. They're doing well in cleaning it up, cleaning that studio up. I just hope that GTA 6 is because I don't think Elder Scrolls 6, it's got some hype and expectations around it. But GTA 6 though, that's a different kind of expectations that you have on top of you.
Yeah. What do you guys think about stereotypes in Grand Theft Auto?
What do you mean?
Like, because I know that's like kind of like one of like the biggest shticks in like the past series. Do you think they should really lean full on to like parody and stereotypes and all that stuff, or do you think that's going to be super toned down as well?
I think they should make it, if they're gonna go with stereotypes, and again, not all stereotypes are bad stereotypes. I think it's how it's done, also, and this is as a Puerto Rican man. I think that you can make you can make something around a stereotype, but make it where it's the person that's being stereotyped, being like making some commentary on it. I don't know. I feel like there's a way to do it. If not, just don't touch it. Like there, you can go with the game without a single stereotype. But if you're gonna do it, try and walk on eggshells.
Yeah, like they needed like a really strong writer for.
They really do. Because at this point in my life, I never realized I've gotten to the point where I do see media portray Hispanics in a certain way, and it's starting to dwindle. It's starting to get to me. It's starting to like it's tiresome. It doesn't offend me. It just gets very repetitive and very boring real quick, and very just how every bad guy has to be Mexican, how every bad guy has to be loud and very about like
why Mexico always has the orange filter movies.
Dude, or Cuba with Far Cry 6. Far Cry 6 is all orange filter. Like it's gone to the point where every drug trafficking person or villain is Hispanic and does it for his family. Dude, we don't just carry around drugs and do it for like we're about family, but we don't just do drugs. Like I don't know, there's ways of doing it. Like stop with the stereotype. Stop with the very on the nose one. There was a time where, everyone was doing the whole watermelon and the whole grape soda thing and the whole, everyone's Mexican and like we're away from that. But now they've taken a new form. Now we're all bad guys. Now it's all orange filter.
Yeah. So what do you think about that with this whole stereotype stuff?
I don't know. It's a complicated. I imagine that this is what comedians struggle with all the time in this current day and age, because like you definitely can't tell like the same jokes that you told maybe like even 10 years ago that you can tell now. So like I don't know, man. Like I don't really get like easily offended. Like a lot of that stuff, like I still, especially like on Twitter, when I scroll past and I see memes that like specifically that I can relate to as both a black man and a Hispanic man, like I find a lot of that stuff like still funny. But I can totally understand what Walt was saying, is that like some like when he was talking about like, or when Macho was talking about like Blue Beetle, like some of that stuff, it doesn't like bother me, but it's just like
it's like ugh.
I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, again, like if it truly bothered me, then I would stop watching Young Justice. But it's just like I don't know. It's just like it's something that I shouldn't have to like. That shouldn't like I should be immersed in that show. That should be stuff that I don't even pay attention to or like notice. But like I think if it gets to a point where it does pull me out of something, then it's like then it's a problem. But like I don't know. I'm mostly just kind of like go with the flow, kind of like whatever. Like a lot of things really don't get under my skin or like get to me with that kind of stuff. But again, that's just me. Like I know a lot of people like the whole punching down thing. Like I know Grand Theft Auto jokes nowadays will definitely bother a lot of people, and like
for sure,
I know, for them, it totally will. But like for me, like I don't know, it's definitely subjective, and that goes to just like comedy just in general, right? It's what's that saying? Different strokes for different folks. So it's definitely it's
whatever floats your boat. Yeah, I mean, but you also have people like. You have people in a certain spot in the community or in media that no matter how many jokes they make in that regard, they get away with it. Like for instance, very recently, Dave Chappelle, like he's getting a lot of flack for a lot of his specials, right? The man keeps being the way he is. He keeps making the jokes. He apologizes when he needs to, and he just keeps going. I feel like that's another kind of worms. When you do end up doing these jokes and satire, do you deserve a second chance? There's people that believe in the whole cancel culture thing, and some people believe in the deplatforming thing. Do you want to fire these people from the studio? Clearly Rockstar, that was the right move. You have to cleanse it out. You have to get some people out and get some people to relearn certain ethics. But then you have situations like Activision Blizzard where it's like, no, we're gonna learn to be better. It's like at this point there's no saving you. Just get out. So it's a tricky thing. But I think so to that point, I think it's just tiresome. Like it's boring. Like it's eye rolling content at this point. When I hear, hey, no, like, amigo, what is wrong with you? Like, I roll my eyes. Like, I'm not even offended. I'm just like, ugh. So this is the kind of show we're watching. This is the kind of movie I'm watching. Like, I just want to enjoy it in a way where the writing is good. At that point, that's just weak writing. That's a very low-hanging fruit. Like, anyone can make a joke like that. Anyone can write a movie where there's stereotypes of the wazoo,
But again, like if there has to be a distinction. If that's like what the the movie or the game or whatever, if that's what it revolves around, like if like some of my favorite movies is Scary Movie, like that whole franchise, and that shit like revolves around that sort of really dumb, poorly written comedy, but it always fucking makes me laugh because I know what I'm walking into when I watch those kinds of movies.
That's the difference.
I find those movies funny, but again, it's not gonna work for everyone. So I don't know. It's a really complicated question. I understand people if nowadays if they do get offended by it, then I'm like yeah, that's totally fair. I understand why you would be, but for me it's I don't know.
I'm glad I don't get offended. I feel like by not me, that's the kind of person I am. I don't get offended, and I can enjoy most things. Like it's very rarely I don't enjoy a movie or a game or a TV show, because certain things that they say or do, I'm just like, yeah, we're here. But there's very key, and I gotta emphasize, very very key things, like us being temperamental, like things that are very very close to home, where it's like I've seen it gets repetitive, and then it gets just tiresome, and it's a whole thing. But I don't get offended. Macho, do you get offended?
No, not really. Again, I grew up in a generation where like even in the family, right, where like everyone kind of just makes fun of each other.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a little bit of the culture. It's not like we're not punching down, right? We're just like having slight fun. We're just poking fun at each other. But again, I grew up in the culture where I grew up around these comedians like Dave Chappelle and other Cat Williams and a couple of others are just like,
Tom
they
Segura, like for me,
like they have no filter. So like for me, anything is up in the air. I don't really get offended, especially for like culture stuff either, because it's ignorant people at the helm of a lot of these things. So like for me, I give them fault for not doing their research and not like actually going to consultants and stuff like that. But I also understand the production workflow, and then at times like these things could just be missed, but you gotta do better next time, kind of thing. Which is why like I'll elevate projects like Miles Morales that Insomniac did, where like they did their research and they had little hints and nods. Like I felt something looking at Miles Morales' refrigerator.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I felt
the
something.
Food laid down.
Yeah.
You see the empanadas and everything. You're like, whoa.
I felt something looking at the fucking rooster statue in his home. You know what I mean? Like
the cookies too.
Yeah,
cookies,
the cookie magnets on the refrigerator, and even the little tile houses that are like as a decorations. I forgot what they're called, but like it's basically just like the front part of some Puerto Rico houses or classic Puerto Rico houses that there would be little like hanging decorations, and my grandmother's and even my mother to some extent had those all around, like, and so like seeing little things like that, like all that stuff matters. All that stuff brings context and clues into like the culture and stuff like that. And if you can implement that into your game and have it be like the small like personalization stuff, then that's golden. That's like the standard for me. And that's kind of stuff I'll be not looking for in Grand Theft Auto 6 really, but I wouldn't be really expecting it. But the thing is, if they do stuff like that, and knowing Rockstar being super attentive to detail as they are, then yeah, that's reason for me to get excited for female protagonists in their game, and to not stick by those like crazy stereotypes. But
Rockstar, I think Rockstar excels at making like banter between characters, like at making a good back and forth. Now the writing is where it gets questionable, and that's where
I disagree. I think they're like far and above like one of the best in terms of writing, like one of the best in
because I think the banter gets very questionable when you have a character that is supposed to beat down on a group, and then the character that's receiving it is that, like, how many times in GTA 6 like Franklin is around people that are just being absolutely tone deaf, like, and that's where you need to play with the Latina character. When she's in certain situations, how do people react with her around? Like, how do people refer to her? How does she refer to them? And while writing in boldly, our DR2, our DR1, GTA 5 is all excellent. It is the little moments of cabrón, amigo. That'll break my immersion, but it doesn't offend me. It just breaks the immersion. But we'll see, Jay. Maybe they maybe they call you Jay and they consult you.
But yeah, man. We will have to wait and see because there's still several years before we'll ever see this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's close things out with Machi. You wanted to talk about the Annapurna showcase?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just brought it up because I knew you guys were fans of Annapurna, but the one thing, I mean, there's a bunch of great games that are announced at this little showcase, and I thought it was entertaining, more or less. I saw David Jaffe stream as he was watching it, but the biggest game out of that entire lineup that definitely caught my eye was The Lost Wild, which is it seems like a horror survival dinosaur game, and it looks freaking amazing. I read this thing like I don't know what it is, man, but we talked about Pirates games, how there's not enough of that. We talked about the cowboy game, obviously Red Dead Redemption 2, but like for me, like I can't get enough of seeing dinosaur games. Even though I even haven't dipped my foot too much into them, I just get really excited seeing dinosaurs. I don't know why. I think it's just a kid in me. But I used to play a bunch of Jurassic Park. I think there's one like Jurassic Park fighting game that was just like all dinosaurs, and like it was super cool. Yeah, it was like on the PlayStation 1. Yeah, you just literally just picked out dinosaurs like a regular fighting screen, and then like you choose the T-Rex, you choose Triceratops, and it'll just duke it out like in a cage. It was super fun.
That's hilarious.
It kind of reminded me of War of the Monsters, I think it is. But yeah, I mean overall, I just think a dinosaur game is just like super cool aesthetics, and like they can do like a really good job of implementing how wild these things can be. And from this game that Annapurna showed off, they said they're gonna have them actually act like animals, like so like kind of the way that they do in Horizon, how they kind of have like their own little animations and their own little ways of how they track you and stuff like that. That's how I'm imagining how this game is gonna be too. But yeah, overall more dinosaur games, so I'm excited. I still want to play Jurassic Park Evolution 2 and what was the other one that just came out? There's another like dinosaur MMO that just came out.
The Exo Primal?
No. I mean, Exo Primal, yeah, I definitely want to play that because that gameplay looks incredible. It looked really chaotic and fun. But there's another dinosaur game that literally just came out. It's like a dinosaur MMO or survival MMO.
Ark?
No, it's not Ark. It's something, I don't know. I forgot the name. I have a wish listed on my PlayStation Store, but it literally just came out. It just shadow dropped, and it's in beta right now. But yeah, but I mean, did you guys see any of the announcements from this thing? Because there's a couple of really great stuff. I know that the game that you guys played, Solar Ash, is coming to Xbox and a couple other things.
Yeah. I'm glad that game deserves more people to play it.
Yeah, the Pathless 2 is coming as well.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but yeah, I saw some things on Twitter, like those little announcements of those games coming to other platforms and stuff like that. I saw the Watam developer or whatever, they're making like a new game. But yeah, besides that, yeah, I didn't really see anything too much.
Yeah, the one I'm looking forward to. I mean, they're very unique. They're all very interesting. They're all very like. It doesn't feel like they all came from the same developer. Or same publisher. The one that really caught my eye, what was it? Forever Ago, I think it was. You play as this old man that's like traveling the country, and you're like taking pictures, like around the whole place. You're like thinking about your life, and it's like about family. Like it looks it's gonna be like a very emotional ride. Who was that one? Third Shift, I think. I think they're a German studio. Forever Ago, Outer Wilds is getting an update. I haven't played it, so I guess I'll play it after the update. They did a lot of like quick ones. There was one that looked insane, like bananas. Like what was going on? There was so many colors. There was so much going on. It was like a turn-based boyfriend fighter. Like you were fighting your exes, like a Scott Pilgrim kind of thing. Thirsty Suitors was the name. Did you catch that one, Macho?
I think so. Is that the one that kind of looks like a fighting game?
Yeah, because it's like I think it revolves around like I think Southeast Asian or Indian like culture.
Yeah, I think I
Uh,
saw that one.
it looks insane. Like the fights look bananas, and it is like you go back to a town, uh, and you need to like face your past, and you need to fight all your exes. And every time you beat an ex, instead of beating them, you just like there's reconciliation with them, and you can decide to be with them or just keep them as a friend. And it's a very insane game. Like it just looks crazy. Uh, I'm interested in that one. But everything else, hindsight looked good. That was the. It showed the woman, like looking out, like out like the glass, and the glass turned into like a memory, and then you went into the memory, and then you saw her as a child, looking at her mom, and then she's like in her old home, where like you go back to the past and revisit memories. There was a lot of artsy stuff in Annapurna's showcase. There was a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, there was. There was one that like reminded me of Flow and everything else. Like even
Oh,
though
Flock.
yeah, yeah. Like, even though the it's weird how those games sound the same too.
Yeah.
Even though like I definitely will not be playing those games, I can appreciate at least that Annapurna is like they're really
Sir.
they're really like one of the best publishers I feel like in the industry. Even I don't play like a lot of their games either, but like a lot of stuff they do push out is really interesting, really different stuff and great indie stuff overall. So I just want to give them their flowers because that showcase, even if everything in there wasn't like blew me away, there was a couple of stuff I was like, oh, that definitely looks fun. I want to play that. That looks good. Obviously, like the Cult of the Lamb is one of the ones I've been talking about for a while, and the one I just showed you guys about the dinosaur game, the Lost Wild, or whatever it's called. And then obviously I want to play Solar Ash and a couple other stuff too. So it's like I said, I just want to give Annapurna their flowers here because even Stray is like a big hit for them too. Where like that also got a war on Steam, was like top of the charts there. So
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they are without question, and I still need to play Outer Wilds because everyone
Same.
says that that's like one of the best games ever made. But yeah, they're without doubt like one of my favorite or publishers in the industry right now. But yeah, man, that is it for our topics this week. Episode 71. So yeah, we're gonna get started with these outros and get everyone out of here. Before we do, want to remind everyone to go ahead and like the podcast, share it out, and continue subscribing. Greatly appreciate that. But yeah, man, Macho, you got anything going on this week?
absolutely nothing. I'm excited for it. Absolutely nothing. Today is going to be full on live alive in Final Fantasy 14, which it's much needed after a long week at work. Just looking forward just to dive into. I don't care if the sun's out. I don't care if it's nice and hot out. Um, I did my social time last weekend, so I deserve a nice stay in at home this weekend. I'm decided to indulge in my RPG. So that's just me, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Walt, what about you, man? What's going on?
What's going on? Well, next Friday I graduate with my bachelor's.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes.
I'll be attending that graduation and getting my diploma and becoming a big boy. You know, it's about damn time, man. Um, Aside from that, man, I mean, more life alive, more control, and Macho. Real quick question: what's your most anticipated thing from SDCC, from the Marvel lineup, from the roadmap?
I mean, excluding Black Panther, Wakanda
Yeah.
Forever. I don't know. They announced like a couple of really good stuff in there. I don't know. What's your answer? Let me actually take a look at the chart because they announced so much.
I mean, probably for me, it's just the setup for Kang's Dynasty, like the fact that we're finally getting a movie that possibly is gonna make Endgame look small. That's what they're aiming at. because
Right.
after Kang Dynasty is Secret Wars, so Secret Wars would be like the ultimate hype for me, because that's like a multiverse war. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Looking at the lineup now, actually, yeah. No, Secret Wars is definitely. I was like, oh, okay, they're going big, big.
yeah,
But I'm not really surprised at Thunderbolts. I knew they were going to do that. I'm interested to see who's the lineup in there, but I have a couple inklings who's going to be. But the biggest one now that actually I'm seeing that I'm like really excited to see, and I saw some leak footage too. Was Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
yes sir, the last one.
Yeah, that one's gonna be really, really. That one I feel like it's gonna be like a great Phase 5 movie.
Absolutely.
And end cap, basically, an end cap to James Gunn's trilogy for the Guardians movies, and I loved all of them. So the fact that this one's really going to be like an end cap to like these Guardians is, it's really sad, and also kind of like it feels right at the same time, because I feel like we can move on from these characters. And seeing that leak footage, I was like, oh man, yeah, they're definitely setting up for these characters to like.
And they introduced Adam Warlock.
Yeah. So it's gonna be really cool to see what they do with that, and I can't wait to see that actual first trailer without any like, blurry ass footage. So, but yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 for sure.
All right, love it. Yeah, man. But gonna be looking. I'm gonna continue with Falcon Winter Soldier. Catch up on the shows. I want to watch them. Keep on my Star Wars marathon. Yeah, man.
You're gonna like Falcon Winter Soldier, man. It's a good one.
So far,
Has some good
I'm
surprises.
hyped. I'm pretty hyped. Episode 3 ended with Dora Milaje looking for Bucky, and I'm pumped. I'm pumped, man.
Oh yeah, Episode 4 is a really good one, man.
I can't wait.
The end of that one is pretty freaking cool.
I really hate John Walker. I do not like that. I do not like him. Like at all.
Well, prepare to hate him even more.
Yay. But yeah, man. What about you, Jay? What you doing? What you got planned?
Probably more Stray and Horizon, because I've been playing a little bit more Horizon. Aside from that, not too much, honestly. Matcha, I was looking at Infamous 2 yesterday. Again.
You wanna row that boat?
I really wish that they could just let me purchase that separately, man. But they won't let me. But yeah, we'll see. Cause really, aside from Roller Drome that comes out later in August, there's like nothing on the horizon.
True.
That's coming out.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, quick thing was that PS Plus, all the Yakuza games are coming, and then Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and what?
I don't feel like dumping 50 or 60 hours in those. I'm good.
All the Yakuza stuff.
Yeah.
Like a Dragon was so good.
Yeah, I'm good. After playing Cyberpunk for 100 hours, Divinity for 100 hours, and Elden Ring for 100 hours, like I'm good, man.
Yeah,
That's another 100 hours.
Yeah, no, I understand. That's why Live Alive is such a great game I'm playing right now, because it's not that 150-hour beast that is Xenoblade.
Yeah.
So,
damn, that's true. Oh, that's what's waiting for us. Oh no.
Exactly. Yeah, I know. Freaking Nintendo, man. They don't ship their games before the release date. So,
did you get that special? Did you get the special edition?
Whoa.
What? Are you okay?
Did you get the special edition?
What are you referring to, you weirdo?
The Xenoblade special edition.
Yes, I did. I got a special edition. Yes, but of course, Nintendo wants to be Nintendo, and they, for some reason, they didn't ship it out before the actual release day. They ship it on the release day because they're Nintendo. So I'll be getting my copy on Monday.
Oh, okay.
So thankfully, I'm not on Twitter, so I don't have to see people post and shit like that.
Oh. Right, you're right.
What the fuck?
Yeah, what are you doing?
That's my laugh.
I swear, Walt like has his own insider joke with himself, So
Seriously.
do you ever feel like that sometimes?
Yes, 100%. And then
Hey,
he doesn't
man,
tell
gotta
us.
survive.
He doesn't tell us what the inside joke is.
I gotta survive, man, on my own. Sometimes I gotta make my own self laugh.
All right, yeah, you've been doing that a lot lately, man.
Yeah, you little
Oh.
freak.
But,
Yeah, you nerd. Get the hell out of here, nerd.
But yeah. Macho, did you ever find in Horizon literally a Easter egg to King Arthur, like a sword in a stone?
I did not. No.
I
Wow,
was
what a
literally
big
just literally just exploring, and like there's a random sword in a giant like boulder here, and Aloy like like says to herself, oh, there's a sword in a stone. It reminds me of an old like story that I read in a data point. Too bad I can't pull it out.
That's crazy. I did not see
Right?
that. That's pretty
Right?
awesome.
Dope.
Yeah, I just took a picture of it. It's pretty cool.
That's
What a
great.
nerd she is.
I mean, I love that Horizon had that stuff because Elden Ring it didn't. I mean, never mind. What were you gonna say, Soul? Sorry.
The man who didn't read.
Anyway, guys, we will catch you next week on another episode of the DualShock Sense Podcast. Until then.